And there we see Vishy sitting in, looking at the black pieces. It's an important day. But remember, guys, today, twice the number of points are at stake. As Garry comes in, a handshake there. And Garry has the white pieces now in the first game. We will look at the position. They were analyzing with their team members there, Caruana and Le Quang Liem. And the players are ready, and Garry opens the game with 1 e4. And there we see Vishy now thinking, let's have the board coming up here. Yes. And a super intense look from Garry Kasparov there. He is so totally focused. He knows he's got his opportunity here. Unlike what Vishy did in 1995 match where he took the lead. It's actually Garry who's taken the lead here. Will Vishy manage to stage a comeback is the big question. So e4 played here. Now let's look at this move, guys. Knight can come out. Knight to f3. e6 played here by Anand. Is the French defense. Hello guys, welcome. Garry is in with his game face. Exactly, guys, look at him there, so focused. But Vishy also looks relaxed today. He's sipping on his water. And guys, today the games have started a bit in advance, so that's the reason why it's still very good time in India. 10:30 p.m. in India. And look at Garry there. And remember, today we have twice the number of points. So if Vishy manages to win this game, he already has a point lead in the match, because today it's 2 points for the win, not just one. What is your prediction for the day? I think today it's going to go Vishy's way. Things are going to go Vishy's way is my feeling, guys. And let me just make sure that, yeah, we have here e6. Yes, flip the board. French defense 960 variation. e4, e6. And now you can see the knights a little bit passive because of this move. The bishop is a bit blocked. You need to activate this bishop. The players are trying to get their mind around it. Get the bishop out. Guys, you can also try to focus like Garry Kasparov and Vishy Anand. Look at them there. Totally focused into it. I love the intensity here. So much at stake. The entire world is following this matchup. And of course, Anand would be unhappy with what happened yesterday. The score could very well have been in his favor. Instead of 2.5, 1.5, it could well have been 3-1 as well. Or 2.5, 1.5. But in the end, he did lose it. And now he's here. Let's switch the timer. Yes, exactly. I think there we have. That's the right time here. Garry is thinking he has 22 minutes 57 seconds. No, this is there's no delay, guys. This is what's happening right now. They started to play at 12 local time. It's all live. There's no delay. And Garry is taking unusually long for this move. Maybe he's wondering, I think d4 is clearly the best move. There's also c3, which opens up the bishop. There's also f4 that you can push here. Yes, Harshit Bhai is playing today, guys. He is playing in, where did he say yesterday? Houston, he said. He's playing in Houston. Love how locked in Garry is, says Hagaya. We have 1,100 people, guys. Do like the stream. Do spread the word. Let's have more and more people join us here so that we can enjoy this amazing matchup together. Legends facing each other. But look at Garry. I think he's taking his time here. Man, insane. That intensity. Aha. Yesterday, I did get some chance to watch him very closely. He was doing some interviews and then he was very tired. So he said, like, he cannot do an interview here with us, but he was very happy. He was looking very relaxed. He was looking like as if, some good stuff had happened with him yesterday. Nice hairstyle, Sagar bhai. Are guys, my hairstyle is you know these kind of moves that are made sometimes, and people say it's either a move that a grandmaster can make or a complete beginner. My hairstyle is like that. It can be made by a stylist who puts in 1 hour, and can be done by me who has put in 0.00 minutes. But yeah, yes, I came up with a jacket today because I was feeling like, yeah, Legends ka game pe commentary, we should be coming in with this. By the way, guys, do you like this view? I mean, this is the view which I am using throughout the event. I mean, I could potentially also commentate on this view where we have help chess. By the way, guys, do check out helpchess.org if you want to support young Indian talents. But I thought like the player view is so important right now that full screen is much better. Yeah, exactly. I thought so. The first view was better. Yeah, like here you're not making use of the asset so well, which is Garry and Vishy there, both of them. So a good question here is, why is Garry Kasparov using so much time? Insane. He's down to 19 minutes 40 seconds. 5 minutes he has taken. Vishy looks confused as Garry is taking so much time. I agree. Vishy's come in that very nice shirt of his, pink color. Garry in bluish outfit. I pretty much think that Garry wants to sort of not make a mistake in the opening like he did yesterday, which is the reason why he's taking his time. He's like, okay, once I get a good position, 10 minutes are enough for me. But what I don't want is to land up in a piece down position like I did yesterday against Vishy. So maybe that's his reasoning. He goes pawn to d4, pushes his pawn forward, which was the most logical move, but I have a feeling that he is thinking, and Vishy very quick to make his move as well. Pawn to d5. Classy stuff here, guys. Love how both of them are playing this. Sometimes when you see legends playing, it's like 30-40 years of chess in front of your eyes, and the way they behave, the way they talk, the way they interact is very nice. By the way, c3 would have been a nicer move perhaps, controlling here, but Garry thought taking is much better. So he takes here, and Vishy is thinking now, which is interesting for me that he started to think, because is Vishy thinking of a pawn sacrifice here? I'm pretty sure he'll take back e5. It looks like the most natural move. Yes, he takes back. That's pragmatic Vishy. But there was this idea, by the way, guys, to play knight f6, takes, and get like super quick development. And now Garry goes c3, opening up this bishop. And we have a very symmetrical position. I have a feeling that this game will be quiet like game number 2 of the rapid. I think when Vishy has the white pieces, the games are being more combative and explosive. When Garry has the white pieces, he's being a little bit more cautious, perhaps. Actually, Garry beat Anand in 1995, guys, the World Championship match. But it was insane, that match, because Garry was clearly the best player in the world. Vishy was like this rising star. He was 26 years old or 25 years old at that point. And everyone thought Garry will win that match. But after 8 draws, first 8 games were drawn, the 9th game went Vishy's way. and everyone was like, oh my god, will Vishy beat Garry? And then started the Garry's absolute comeback where he was so focused, and he managed to beat Vishy in several games and managed to lead the match, managed to finish it without giving Vishy any other win. So in that sense, it was a perfect performance there uh, by by Garry Kasparov there, except for that one loss. And c6, we have the symmetrical move. So will kind of everything be reverse? Like Vishy lost one game, and now can he make a comeback? Is the question. Well, at that point, guys, 26 years was young. You know, these days, 26 years is a bit old, but in 1990s, you are 26, you are quite young. That's how chess has evolved. Now, maybe you're 22, 21, 20, that's young, because the world champion became a world champion at the age of 18 years. Bishop d2 played by Garry. So he is a little bit of improving his position here. The bishops are looking in this direction. Nishikanta says, Sagar sir, I hope you're putting efforts for the rematch with Levy. Yes, that is one of the things that is on my mind. I don't know about efforts yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you.
5 minutes for move two. 5 minutes for move two.
Yeah, a lot of time taken by Garry on move 2. Aditya says, I hope Vishy does not play as fast as he did yesterday. I know. That's why he's taking his time. He also took quite some time here. And now both the players, you know, a match is very beautiful in that sense because both players keep evolving and improving with all the mistakes that they have made. And that's very interesting to see. Like Vishy played fast yesterday. He's trying to slow down. Garry played an opening where there was a mistake right out of the opening. He's trying to sort of slow down. And at this point, it's not so clear how should the game continue. The point system, guys, today is double of what was yesterday. Yesterday it was 1 point for the win, half for a draw, and 0 for a loss. Today it will be 2 points for a win, 1 for a draw, and half for 0 for a loss. Loss is always 0. I think Vishy is thinking about knight e6. I like actually putting the knight here. I also like knight f6. There's also still symmetry that he can maintain with bd7. I mean, the queen is a little bit awkwardly placed. I could also potentially think of playing pawn to g6. He goes bishop d7. He keeps it 100% symmetrical. Aditya Rajput says, when is the second leg of India versus USA? Well, most likely it will happen in first half of the year 2026. Where will it be held? And all of these questions remain to be answered. But for now, the organizers are keen to do it, guys. Arnav says, saw the recent vlog. Can anyone stay in that house? Says Arnav. No, Arnav, not anyone can stay. Actually, the house is meant as for guests of the St. Louis Chess Club. So there are grandmasters who stay there. There are people who come and visit the club and so on. So not anyone can kind of book it and stay there. We had a small disruption of the internet there, guys, but hopefully it's not too bad. And the move that is played here is rook e1. He brings his rook to the e1 square. Not sure if the frame rate is dropping a bit here, but rook comes to the open file and maybe Vishy can continue with rook e8. The only problem is that after rook e8 takes, maybe there is this check, but it's nothing, yeah, just bishop d7. So rook e1 played, very quiet game here. Better now. I think everything is fine, all good. Rook to e1 played. Why are pieces in different positions, says AI in seconds? Because this is chess 960. It's Fischer Random chess that is being played here. Freestyle chess, as they call it these days. And that is what is in action. Yeah, we've close to 2000 people tuning in, guys. Do like the stream and do subscribe to Chess Base India. Oh, Garry gets up from his chair, and this is where we are in terms of subscriber count. We are at 28,57,786, and our last believer on Help Chess was Gokul NK 5 days ago, 1001. Guys, just think about this position a little bit. You know, chess 960 gives us this ability to look at positions a bit more deeply. I think what Garry wants to do is put his bishop here, long castle, so his king remains on c1, the rook comes to d1, and then he wants to get his knight here, the other knight here, and just use the superior development and hope that Vishy goes wrong. Vishy continues the symmetry here. He goes rook to e8. He brings his rook to e8, sips glass of water there. I think in general, guys, for me, uh, I feel like Fischer Random Chess or Chess 960 is very good when it comes to these legends playing, because then there's no opening theory. And when it comes to opening theory, I'm pretty sure that Vishy has a very big edge over Garry Kasparov, because you know Vishy's in touch, in form, playing a lot, while Garry is of course not been playing much at all. So in terms of openings being out of the picture, I would say the match is more equal. I still felt that Vishy would be the favorite there because he's playing more. But once you see that the day one has ended and Garry's rustiness is reducing a bit, the match is becoming more and more exciting. And I think for Garry, he's really keen to take this one back home. Anubhav says why opening theory is not possible, because the position is scrambled right at the start. So it's not like they've studied this position before. It's not, they don't know whether e4 is better or d4 or c4. All of this is something new that they have to learn. Madhu says, are engines less reliable? I don't think. Engines are now quite reliable in all formats. They give you the right assessment and so on. So like right now, if the engine says 0.2 for white, it is 0.2. But the main thing is that players are less accurate than in traditional chess. They make more mistakes. Hiren Patel, backer of Indian chess for 55 months. Wow, that's insane. 55 months is 5.5. So supportive. Says hello. Yeoman says, Sagar Help Chess is not accepting international cards. Not yet, Yeoman, but we are working on it. It will be done soon. आज इंटरनेट बहुत खराब है, बार बार जा रहा है। हाँ, बार बार जा रहा है इंटरनेट। कौन सा इंटरनेट कनेक्ट हो गया? चेस मीडिया ना, चेस क्लब। कुछ तो Okay, guys, we are back now. I hope that this internet is better and that things are much better here. Uh, and that we won't have any issues with the internet. Right now, Garry Kasparov has made a move. He's pushed his pawn to g3. He's moved it up. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with the internet here. It's a little bit shaky at the venue, but I hope that it'll be back. We have also mentioned it to the people here, and I hope that it'll be fine. G6, well, Vishy is like 100% symmetry for now. Well, in a way, G3 does limit this knight, but I think this knight anyway wants to come to E3. I have a feeling that this game might be a very tame draw, yeah? Krishna Srivastav says, are you starving, Mr. Sagar? No, I'm not starving, guys. I ate well. I eat well.
It's not working.
It's okay.
So it is trying to connect to multiple access points. That's why it's fluctuating. If we can reconnect and connect, I think it will work properly.
Acha.
So it will catch the nearest access point.
Okay, guys, 1 second. It might disconnect for a second, but it'll be back. Okay, I think it should be fine. We are now connected again, and this should be good enough. Very interesting. And bishop c2 calmly played here by Garry. He's trying to long castle. Oh, maybe, guys, it could be a strategy of Garry that once he has a lead in the match, now play calmly. Draw is fine for him. Push Vishy to the limit to try who has to try and win. Wow, that would be something, guys. It's interesting to see that if this is the idea with which Garry has come. Aman Singh says, "Bhai Levy ka king." Arey, Aman bhai. Draw on the card, says HKR. Maybe. But guys, these positions can sharpen up if something, if one of the players starts to show some ambition here. But for now, it seems like Vishy is happy because he has black pieces. He goes bishop d6. He puts his bishop one square ahead of where Garry has put it. And now long castle. Pretty sure he'll go this. Long castle. It gives me this rookie one Berlin kind of vibes right now. And maybe there is f5 followed by knight f6 and knight e4, putting the knight in the central square. That's quite possible. And he long castles here. Not king b1, guys. Long castle is on the board. And guys, a big shout out to the St. Louis Chess Club. You can watch their broadcast live. It is happening live from the venue here, and I'll put the link in the pinned comment here. Channel.
Very little here separate.
And I'll just put it here so that you guys can follow. There is also Maurice Ashley there. There is Yasser Sairawan. It's a fantastic broadcast. James Dash is there. I'm going to pin this message. And we have Harshit Bhai, very tough game, but won. Oh, Harshit has won his game in the tournament in Houston. Wow, there must be double rounds for sure, but let's see if we can get him for a while here. It would be amazing to have him join the broadcast for a few minutes. And there we have, we sent him that. Ooh, and Longcastle rookie one is on the board. I'm going to put in here. I will get lunch and come soon, says Harshit. Okay, Harshit, bye. Take your time. Take your time. Pretty sure that when Harshit bhai joins in, some explosive chess will happen. Why is Amruta not here? Well, Amruta is in SF, San Francisco. She's not commentating for this one with me, but I will be meeting her very soon. We are going to do a meetup in SF, and maybe if someone is interested and would like to, it's in Bay Area. Bishop D7 played here. Yes, Vishy can use the time advantage. Exactly. Amog says, yes, meet up in SF. Yes, Amog. Looking forward to it. Bishop D7. Guys, this stream is not 720p. Pretty sure that it is. Oh, it is 720. Oh, that's funny. I'm using this new laptop, which is why, yeah. 1 second. Guys, let me change this in a second. I will improve it. We are back here, and I believe that the quality of this should have improved. Let's see if that is the case. Or maybe from tomorrow I will make it better, guys. Sorry for this. Still 720p, but okay. Oh, just refresh, guys. Just refresh it. Maybe it will change. If you refresh it, now you can go to 1080p. And yes, okay, great. Whoa, some changes, guys. F6 is on the board. The knight comes out. He pushes his pawn to F6. He stops the knight from jumping in. And that's always useful. Garry plays his knight to E3. White pieces more developed. Black pieces slightly passive. H4, H5 is on the cards. This can become quite interesting and exciting, guys. I'm watching in 144p, says Priyanshu. Arey bhai. The chess set is really beautiful here at the St. Louis Chess Club. It's amazing how the pieces are. In fact, I have one video that we have shot here with the different rooms that are there. This is one of the rooms where the match is happening. There's another room called the Champion Showdown room where you will have Gukesh, Magnus, and everyone coming in towards the end of the month. Then there's US Championship room for Open, US Championship for women. All of these rooms are different and they've already been set up, which is insane, right? Like generally a chess club will have one room which is kind of, you keep using it for different events which are back to back. But here there are already 4 rooms ready. Sandeep says 720p here. Sandeep, can you close the stream and reload it? Then it will come. Prajwal Bhatt, hope you are enjoying in St. Louis. Array, Prajwal Bhatt, you would love it here, my friend. I don't know if you've already been here. I think you have been here perhaps before. But if you haven't, please plan it. Prajwal is our good friend from the Netherlands. He takes amazing pictures. And this would be a great, great place for you to come. I have been there before, says Prajwal. That's nice. Queen F1. What's this move by Garry? Queen to F1. Is he trying to look at this direction? What is he planning? Not so sure. Not so sure what he's thinking. Is the format any different for Champion Showdown? I think it's not Chess 916 Champion Showdown. It's normal chess, if I'm not mistaken. Any exciting events upcoming, Krishna? Well, lot of them. Especially here in the US, you have US championships. Then you have this ultimate like champion showdown between Gukesh, Carlsen, Nakamura and Fabi. Then in India, you have the World Cup that's happening in Goa, where top players will come, 3 spots in the candidates. Then you have the finals of the freestyle chess. Then you have the global chess league that's happening. Then the World Rapid and Blitz. So guys, everything is packed till the end of the year already. Queen G7 played. Both players playing calmly, but guys, when the time will run low, which Garry now down to 8 minutes, it'll get super exciting. Which of these Aronian will participate, says Aram. Aronian will play in the US Championships. He will play there with Fabi, I think Wesley, Hans Niemann also. Hans is in fact in St. Louis. Where is he right now? I'm not sure. I was wondering if Vishy wants to play f5 and put his knight in the center. But when you push the pawn to f5, one of white squares, like black squares, also gets weakened. Which is that square that gets weakened, guys? Bye. You can also be there for 10 minutes of second game today. भाई ये इसके बाद रैक्स आने वाले हैं हाँ तो वो चेरी
ये ले लो ना आप यहाँ पे आ जाओ फिर क्लियर करते हैं
Guys, right now Queen G7 played. Here in the room, guys, we have Aditya of the team Chess Base India who's here. He's doing an amazing job bringing you the moments from on ground interviews and all of it. So if you will see, there is already going to be a new video that's coming up soon for the starting moments of day 2. And he goes knight to g2. The knight is coming to f4 and maybe the e6 square is a bit weakened. So very interesting move by Garry Kasparov here. He's bringing his knight in. Vishy has to be careful. I'm wondering if g5 makes any sense, but then the f5 square is weakened. 12 minutes 54 seconds for Vishy, 6 minutes for Garry Kasparov. Man, guys, let's have a look at this position a little bit more deeply. So, if Garry gets his knight to f4, he's thinking about coming to e6. The rook is well placed, but the knights are looking here. It's a bit passive, the knight on f8. I want to get active, but there's no real way to do it. I can consider going g5 to stop knight f4, but then the knight will reroute itself and come back to f5. So it's not so simple. The way in which this position is, it looks like very equal and drawish, but actually it can be very, very difficult as well for both sides to play. And now what I'm amazed is with Garry's intensity, guys. He is totally focused. We all know that Garry is doing so many different things, but when it comes to chess, he's zoned in. Hans Wilkstrom asks, can we go knight e7? I like this move, Hans. It's not at all a bad move, but I'm a bit worried about knight f4 here. In fact, one could even play bishop f4, offering a trade of these bishops and then getting the knight. Attacking here. And if bishop d7, then maybe I can move my queen away. Queen e2, queen c2. It's not much. I like your move, Hans, actually. Good job. Knight e7, maybe bishop f5 to trade off the bishops. Could be. And Arnav says, why not knight d7? Arnav, that's a terrible move. That's a terrible move. Because this is hanging. Alex says, Sagar, I'm Rishi, 17 years old, watching you since 5 years. You're great since, and some stream I started playing because of you, and now I'm 1300. Array. Very good. I hope you can be 2000, not in next 5 years as you have written, but sooner. Knight h6 played by Anand. Not knight e7, Hans. This was a good move, but this one here also looking interesting. He can move his knight forward. Bishop f4 played by Garry. He wants to trade off these bishops. Getting rid of his potentially bad bishop there. Yes. Asterix Riz, you are right. Knight to f7 played by Vishy. He's looking here. Okay, so take, knight f4. That's what Garry might do. But it looks like black is completely fine. Like, look at this. Take. Now I'm looking here. If you go knight f4, I can go bishop g4. Attacking this pawn. Attacking this knight. So, that looks good. And bishop d6, he puts knight f4, attacking this bishop here. Now, I think bishop g4 is what Vishy is going to do. Why are so many big names missing from the World Cup in Goa, says Bhargav. That's a good question, actually. Magnus is missing because he doesn't play the World Cup or FIDE events now since some time. Hikaru is missing because he's already qualified to the candidates. I mean, he will through the rating spot. Fabi is missing because he's already qualified. But apart from these three names, we have almost everyone. We have Gukesh, we have Arjun, we have Prag, we have Firuja. Oh, Firuja is missing actually. That's a bit surprising for me actually that Firuja is not playing because it's his last chance to make it to the candidates from this. So yeah, that's a bit of a surprise. But then Noderbek is there. You have Hans Niemann who's playing. You have Vidit Gujarati. Anish Giri is coming in. Even though he's qualified for the candidates, he's playing. So it will be fun. The pairings are out. Actually, I'll make a video on it as to who's playing in what tree and what section. Yeah, knight goes back to d2 and now knight d7 could be an idea. Arvind is playing. Yes, Arvind Chidambaram should be playing, I believe. Not checked it. And queen to f7. Calmly playing here. And next move, we have knight e6 to trade off this active knight. I won't be surprised if these players draw the game very soon. Chipsman says how to intern or work at Chessbase India. You can write at contact@chessbase.in. Whoa, Himang Ghosh says I'm calling it. Arvind qualifies for candidates via World Cup or FIDE circuit. One of them. Wow, that's a very bold prediction, I must say, Himang. And if it happens, it would be such a joyous moment for all the chess fans in the country. We already have one person who's qualified to the candidates. Most likely that's going to be Prague. Would be nice to see others as well. We have a super chat by Srija who says, loved your game against Levy. Thank you, Srija. You gave him a very good fight. The best thing would be to see you become a GM, following you and Samai since lockdown. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I can continue playing a bit more here because I really enjoyed my time practicing and preparing for the matchup. Hmm. Who do you think will win this series, says Thunder. I think after Garry took lead yesterday, this matchup has become more exciting in my opinion. If Vishy would have won like 2 games yesterday, then perhaps it would have been like a landslide, because Vishy is in good form and so on. Like he plays more. But I think Garry with his victory is feeling upbeat. You can see him there. He's thinking a lot. Of course, the game that he's playing right now is very positional and it's not to his style. I think one of the things that was very, very much important for Garry Kasparov when he was on top of his game was opening theory. I mean, he was the best prepared opponent when it came to openings. So, in that sense, that thing has been taken away from him in Fischer Random chess, or in even when he plays normal chess, he doesn't have that much time to prepare. So I'm pretty sure that impacts him. He doesn't get those aggressive positions which he knows well. Well, g5 might be possible, but goes knight d3. He plays his knight to d3. The knight cannot jump here or here. I mean, could jump potentially to c5. I think Vishy doesn't want to play knight e6. That would be slightly inaccurate because f3, bishop f5 and g4. Although after bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3 and knight f4, you do get a great position as black. So maybe even knight e6 is possible, but I think maybe in the spirit of being very solid, Vishy could go bishop d7, knight c5 and knight e6. And then you can take the bishop. I can take back with the rook, shuffle the rook here. Very even, very even. Hans says maybe b6, king b7. That feels a bit weakening, I must say. But it's also not so bad. Actually, it's quite okay, Hans. Yeah, king b7 next. Will Sam Savian play in the World Cup? I pretty much think he should. He's one of the top American players, and I think he must have qualified. Rookie 8 played. Bhargav says the game just seems so passive. Yeah, well, it's very, very even. Very even. And now knight c5. Pretty sure he goes knight d7. Just take trade. Or can we go knight e6, which is also nice. But I think knight d7 just makes so much more sense. I mean, if Prag wins the candidates and we have Prag Gukesh in the World Championship, it will bring us back to the days of Kasparov Karpov, when both of the top players were from the same country. Yes, there was also Kasparov Kramnik, which happened. And I was just talking about it yesterday that for years it was both the world championship candidates like who were fighting were from USSR. Then like the FIDE president also at some point was from the same country. I mean, everything goes to that one country. Yeah, we have a member here, Mehmet Amin. Thank you so much for becoming backer of Indian chess, Mehmet. It's very kind of you. Knight b3, just bolstering the knight here. And by the way, guys, do not forget Kasparov is down to 3 minutes on his clock. The position should be equal here. You can see that both the knights supporting each other, but it can get sharp. I think Vishy can be very calm. He can just play bishop f5, let's say rook e8, queen e8, knight d7, queen d7, knight c5, queen e7, bishop f5, knight f5. Just everything gets traded in the last few moves and should be a draw. But this is what is possible here as we head back into the game. Arnav says just like 95 it will be comeback, but for Vishy, wow, that would be interesting. By the way, guys, how many of you going to stay back to the end of the day? Because we'll have this game, maybe we'll have an interview, a guest joining us here in the studio, and then we will also later on have, yes, Vishy goes bishop f5, the move that we imagined him playing. Then we'll have one more rapid game and then 2 blitz games. So it's a pretty compact day, you can say. If it started at 10:30 in the night Indian time, then very well takes knight takes d7. It would end by 2:30 p.m. I think 2:30 a.m. 2 a.m. says Himank. It'll all end at 2 a.m. Oh, Mehmet, thank you so much for sending in the super chat. Shrija says we'll stay for sure. Nice. Takes queen f7. And now I think Anand is looking super confident here. What a game this has been. Like, Garry has had absolutely no shot at an advantage. So a draw is very likely. Can Fabiano join the commentary? I think today we have... Is Fabiano doing the commentary for the guests? Yeah. Guys, if you are in and around St. Louis and if you buy the tickets, you can actually listen into the commentary. Yesterday it was Levon Aronian who was commentating. Today it could very well be Fabiano Caruana. Like, this is the beauty of the St. Louis Chess Club, that you have such amazing players in and around the club. I think in India, maybe a place that is comparable to this is Chennai. So if someone launches something in Chennai, which is like the Chola chess, which we saw recently, it could have similar kind of vibe where, you know, for the inauguration, we saw Arvind versus Prag. Vishy coming in and Karthikeyan was playing and so on. So I think this is the kind of vibe that St. Louis has. It's like in some ways it's like Chennai. But look at Garry there. He's coming down to a minute on the clock. He's shaking his head. I believe that he cannot offer a draw very soon. So he will have to make his moves. But being the Bishop D1, is he getting a bit ambitious there? This will be interesting, but with Vishy having more time, can Vishy try to put pressure on Garry? HKR says any possibilities of getting both Garry and Vishy for a talk. I think we did an interview with Vishy after the day. Whoever has had a good day generally stays back for some interviews. Like yesterday it was Garry. So we'll try to get them that way and hopefully ask them some good questions. Himang says, how is G6? You mean G5, Himang? To push the pawn forward. Could be an idea. Like, look at this position. We have pawn to G5 here, which is quite a good move. Placing the pawns on the opposite color of the bishop. I think Vishy may want to kick the knight away, but B6 looks wrong to me, at least to my eyes, but it even is not wrong. Like, you can let the queen come in with a check, king B8, knight D3, and now knight to C4 is a very strong move because you've cut the path back and this queen will potentially get trapped here. Bishop takes D3 is hanging. Let's say rook E8, rook queen E8. How do you even... There's no squares for this knight. Just bishop D3 takes and queen E1. It's game over. So have to be careful. P6 is not such a silly move. It's actually a playable move there. Vishy takes on E1. Rook takes E1. And now maybe a very simple move. Queen E8. Should work. But can Vishy get a bit ambitious here? Can he go G5, H5? Try to create some play. Can he place king to C7? I mean, I think typical Vishy move here is queen E8 because he has been trading pieces. No, he goes G5. Let's go. Himang Bhai, your move is on the board. Dexter says, hey Sagar, I've been with the chess community since 2018. Actually, I left in 2018. I'm coming back in 25. Nice. That's good to see, Dexter. And G4. I'm feeling that Garry is taking some huge risks, but also he's asking an important question to Vishy. Do you want to put your bishop back on G6 whereby I get my pieces to enter the E6 square, or do you want to play bishop D7? That's also a possible move to just go back here. But by putting your pawn on the same color as the bishop, it can become a problem in the endgame. It is. It could be. You know, yesterday we were commentating here and one person said, I'm actually driving down from Colombia at 4 p.m. It takes 2 hours to reach St. Louis, and he did come here in 2 hours, which was incredible to see that. Bishop G6 played and Garry goes, what? F4? Wow, what if I just take the pawn? Isn't that possible? Oh, he wants to go check. This is hanging. I can play king c7, but if I take, knight takes, and then he'll take this pawn. So f4 is on the board. Wow, we have 5,600 people tuning in, guys. The first game looked very equalish. Oh, by the way, I have a question. Can we put our bishop on e4? I love this move, actually. Bishop e4. Defended by the knight. If you take here, I'll take back with the knight. Okay, you could potentially attack here, but then I have this very nice move. Queen c7, attacking f4. And that's already better position for black. I have a feeling a twist could come in. Vishy, come on. Interesting. Garry completely focused. He plays pawn to b6, first kicking the knight away. Well, you could potentially trap the bishop with f5, but then bishop f5, pawn takes f5, b takes c5 is a great position for black. So the knight has to move. Knight e6, maybe there's bishop e4 there to kind of trap the knight. Okay, it's not a trap, but oh, it's a trap. Wow, look at this line. Knight e6, bishop, I thought bishop e4, f5, knight f5, pawn takes, bishop f5, and the knight looks like it's trapped here. Oh, nice variation, by the way, guys. That was completely thought by my mind without using the engine. Getting strong, guys. Getting strong. Oh, he played f5, blunder. Vishy is better. Let's go. Let's go. This is a mistake. B takes c5. It's just completely better. But let's just calculate. What has Garry thought? Because take here would be completely bad because of knight f5 takes and bishop f5. So that is not his plan. I believe after take he wants to take on g6. Right. But then I take back with the queen perhaps. No, I don't want to take with the queen. With a check coming in. So let's say I take with the pawn. No, that's not a good move. The right move here. Oh, maybe take, yeah. 1 second. Oh, the best move here, guys, is not to take the knight. Oh, yes, Vishy finds it. Bishop f5 was the best move. He found it. G takes f5 and now B takes c5. He takes it and Garry's shaking his head. He's like, what the hell did I think? I think Garry's main problem in this game. And now not to take this pawn, guys. Because if you take this pawn, there is an insanely strong move. Can you find it? White to play and win. What is the winning move for white? Yes, chess D, Srijan. Everyone is absolutely right. Bishop g4, pinning the knight and winning it. But Vishy does not take this pawn. He jumps in straight with knight e4, attacking the c5 pawn, and it's completely better there. And let's go, Vishy. Knight e4. Yes, finds it. Knight e4 on the board. Now, I think the problem for Garry, as I was mentioning, is that he didn't want a dull, dry draw with the white pieces. You know, he's that kind of a player who doesn't believe in such draws. He wants to press and so on. And this is where, look at Vishy, that small stare. He looked at Garry and he like, okay, Garry, 41 seconds. You are potentially like a pawn down because, you know, white has an extra pawn here which are doubled. Meanwhile, black has an extra pawn on the king side and can start rolling them down the board. c4 by Garry. Okay, guys, can Vishy find what should be a good move here? Can't take the pawn. Knight is hanging. I don't want to take on c5. That would be too much because then the position opens up. The queen comes in. Maybe that's not what you want. You want to keep it close. You want to use your knight and queen together. You want your queen to come on this square, give a check, try to enter into the camp. So best move here is queen c7. Very tough. Very tough move to find, but it's very nice. Also queen e7, attacking the c5 pawn. But I love this move, queen c7 coming into f4. We have 7,400 people watching this live, guys. Do like the stream and make sure that, you know, that one like is going to get us more people tuning in today. If Vishy wins this, he actually gets 2 points for this. So he will surpass Garry in the lead. Right now it's 2.5 points to Garry, 1.5 for Vishy. Oh, Vishy down to 6 seconds. 5, 4, don't lose on time. No, he loses on time. He loses on time. No way. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't lose on time. Oh, man. No. Oh. Oh. Insane drama here. Just when we thought Vishy's going to win this, he lost on time. No way! This means Garry now has a 3-point lead in the match. Well, taking a picture of the clock there. Oh, man, I can't even fathom what just happened there. Vishy was playing so well. But all of a sudden, it's Garry who gets 2 points. It's not even 1 point, guys. 2 points because this is clutch chess. Every day the stakes rise. So Vishy at 1.5 now. Garry at 3.5. Sorry, 4.5, right? Oh my god, he's at 4.5 points. Vishy needs to win 2 more games today if he wants to surpass Garry. But guys, what a huge, yeah, it's been insane what just happened there. And well, I think for Vishy to make a comeback now is going to be extremely tough. But we have one rapid game and 2 more blitz games left for today. And guys, we have a very special guest who will be.
थोड़ा खोलना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, आप खोल देना, फिर लगा देना.
हाँ, charge है.
We have a very, very special guest who will be joining us in a bit here. But things.
No, I haven't. Cigar, Rexy Kill cigar.
Hi.
Good voice.
Be-
Welcome to St. Louis.
Hi, thank you. Would you like to join? I'm
Sure.
actually live, so.
Sure, absolutely.
Guys, joining me in the studio here is the one and only Rex Sinkfield, the man behind the St. Louis Chess Club and everything that's happening. Rex, thank you so much for being here. This is my first time in. Aditya, oh, battery.
Low battery.
वो नहीं निकाल सकते. ये battery.
And catch your breath. What a crazy
Yeah,
game that was.
absolutely.
Back in action.
We have Rex joining in here, the man behind the St. Louis Chess Club. Rex, thank you so much. This is my first time in St. Louis.
Oh my goodness, welcome.
Yes. And I can't tell you how impressed I've been the last 2 days. I'm staying at the chess house here.
Oh, good.
And just everything, right from every single detail that I'm seeing here, from the chess boards, the chairs, the sort of the wall backdrops, everything is done so well. And I really wanted to speak to you as to how did you sort of build this up. Like, it's taken quite some time to reach here. Can you tell us a bit about like the thing, because people back home in India are also so amazed by what has been created here.
Well, the secret is we have a tremendous staff. So you can tell all the people in India, all of you've got to be great. Then you have a great chess club. And don't give credit to the guy who starts it, because he doesn't do it. It's everybody else that did it, the team. And they are marvelous. You've talked to a lot of them.
Yes.
You've seen them. They are marvelous. They're skilled beyond belief. And we are so delighted to have you here. To think you came all the way from India. And now I think of the times I was in India. But, you know,
Have you been there? In
I
India?
have been there. I've loved it. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you visit?
I visit your financial capital. It's changed names. What is it now?
It's Mumbai? Were you-
Mumbai.
Oh,
Mumbai.
wow.
Yeah.
I actually live in Mumbai.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
So I am I'm from Mumbai. And you did mention about the staff. And this was one thing that we were discussing yesterday. that every single person we speak to here is so respectful, looks so happy,
Yeah.
joyous, and I think that's kind of the vibe that is set here.
I think that's right. They're very enthused about what they do. They know they're part of something very big, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. And they know what they've created here. And this is a great gift to all of chess and the entire world. And they've done it. They should be very proud of it.
Yeah. And also this new reconstruction of
Yeah,
the
it's
chess club,
Gone very well. Yeah,
it's looking incredible.
I know. It is. Thank you very much. We have great contractors too. Everybody, uh, all of our staff, the people we contract with. I got to tell you, it's just, I think St. Louis is loaded with an excess of talent because everything here happens so well. If you look around the architecture, everything in all of St. Louis is just stunningly beautiful. And this has been going on for, well, 250 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Pretty short compared to your country, but
Well, I think I was told by someone that this structure itself is more than 100 years old.
It probably is. The house I live in about 2 blocks away is 125 years
Wow.
old. But so many of the houses around here were built around 1900, right before the St. Louis World's Fair, and in preparation for that.
Right, right. And so it's kind of historic, one more thing that we see is the World Chess Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's right there.
Yeah,
Also a beautiful museum inside.
yeah, thank you.
What was the idea behind making that over there, like the World Chess
Well,
Hall of Fame?
I would love to tell you that it was a brilliant idea I came up with, but the truth was, I got a call from the U.S. Chess Trust, who's in charge of the World Chess Hall of Fame. They have the authority to put it wherever they want it, and they said the people who are taking care of it in Florida are no longer able to do that. Would you like to have it in St. Louis? And I said, in a heartbeat. And so we sent people down, we looked at it, we moved everything here, we've made it 5 times or 10 times what it was originally. We've added a lot of space, a lot of exhibits, and we've added a lot to the permanent collection as well. And it's been, again, the staff did all this. They kept up with these incredible ideas.
Yeah.
These exhibits we have, like recently we had one on T.S. Eliot, who's probably is the most famous English poet other than William Shakespeare.
Right.
And I'm happy to tell you that T.S. Eliot was born and raised 2 blocks from right here.
Really? Wow.
Right here. And I've always wanted to do that exhibit because of his connection to St. Louis. In fact, he said in the exhibit, he has a page there on the wall, and he said, it should be plain to the casual observer that the single most important influence in my life was living in St. Louis near the 2 big rivers.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a remarkable statement for a guy to make, given that he spent most of his life in London.
Right. That's so nice. And I think in general, you kind of look at talent and you are able to sort of identify it. Like you spoke about T.S. Eliot, of course,
Yeah.
he's a great person. But I also saw in one of the halls up there pictures by Harry Benson.
Oh, yeah.
And he's this legendary photographer who has shot the Beatles.
Oh, he's-
Then Bobby Fischer has done incredible work. And now there are such nice pictures in one of those halls up there.
Harry Benson is truly remarkable, an amazing photographer for decades now. And he has photographed at great length every president since Eisenhower.
Oh.
And I asked him, I said, who was the most fun to be with? You're with them for 2 or 3 days. Who'd you enjoy being with? And he shocked me. He said, you're not going to believe it, but it was Richard Nixon. He said, Richard Nixon was a barrel of laughs.
Mm.
He was just so much fun. I said, well, who was next best? He goes, Reagan. I said, who was the worst? He goes, Jimmy Carter. So,
Wow.
but he's remarkable too, and thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, and also his pictures of Fischer
Oh,
are
they're
so beautiful.
remarkable.
And then there's this
And
pictures
so
of
many of them.
yeah, and he also went to this Magnus versus Fabi
Yeah.
match
Yeah,
in
he did.
2018.
He was there in London. And Benson was the one. He went to see Boris Spassky the morning after their last game, see him in the morning, and Boris told him, he said, I'm going to resign this position. You can tell Bobby he's the new champ. And so Harry went to Bobby's room and said, congratulations, you are the world champion.
Wow.
That's how it happened.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And tell us a bit about Garry and how he's contributed to the chess club and the overall growth of chess here, because I see that Garry has been an integral part of this development. Also, right now, this amazing matchup that we
Yes.
have here. So, what has been Garry's role?
Garry has been a very important advisor to us all along the way. He came up with the idea for the Grand Chess Tour, which covers the entire world. We go around, we have these series of matches every year. It just finished in
10 years now.
Yeah, it just finished down in Sao Paulo where Fabiano Caruana won the Grand Chess Tour this year. But it's a real long haul for any player. But that was Garry's idea. He's come up with so many good ideas. His presence here is so important. He's been available to the fans. He's signed tons of autographs. So it's impossible to measure the contributions that he has made. And having Vishy here again is such a wonderful thing. You know, years ago, we'd have tournaments and Vishy would show up. And there was a period of time where I had breakfast with Vishy like 10 days in a row.
Wow.
I'd show up at the restaurant and there he was, and we'd get together and we'd start talking politics, you know.
So cool.
And Vishy is just a remarkable guy, remarkable. Indians say they got one of the greatest heroes ever in Vishy Anand.
Yeah, I think he is the single biggest reason why Indian chess has reached where it is right now.
I think so, but you got some good young
Yes.
champions coming along, so there won't be a shortage of them. You don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely. And this matchup, which has been put together,
Oh, yeah.
everyone's like, it's been 3 decades
Yes.
since they played their world championship match,
Right. Mhm.
and now they are playing against each other. What are you feeling about it? I mean, I had goosebumps when I saw both of them sitting opposite each other there.
Well, you know, I was surprised. This last game is a shocker, of course. It's no words to use to describe
people were
what happened to Vishy.
Yeah.
I think Vishy was shocked. It was like he zoned out, didn't know where he was or what he was, and boom, the clock drops. It's just, that's hard to explain. I hope they don't ask him about it because he's not going to have a good explanation for it.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
that's
that gives Garry 3-point lead now.
that's right. Yeah,
And this clutch chess
I know.
is a very interesting
It's
format.
very- Yeah, and Maurice Ashley, one of our commentators, he came up with that idea, and we just have people always coming up with great ideas and innovations. And Garry's done it, Maurice has done it, Yasser Sirawan has done it, all of our players, our staff, Courtney, our press angel here, has come up with wonderful things. I mean, it's just a remarkable experience, and I think all the Indians have to do is say, we can do this, and they can do it. India could do anything, I'm sure.
No,
I
it's
mean, you built the Taj Mahal, for God's sake. You know?
yeah, I have this one question to you. Like, for example, you said that the people here who are working have done an incredible job to build the chess club. I see that everyone who's here has been associated with it for years. Let's say Sairavan has been commentating for
Right.
years. There is Maurice here. You know, when we came here, Bobby gave us a tour and we asked her, she was like, I'm here from 7 years. And
Yeah.
so what's the secret here, according to you, that everyone's here and, you know, everyone's loving it? It's like you have the same people.
I think really it's something about St. Louis that makes people get infectious about what they're doing and they get enthused. And the people that are here are really more than happy to be here. They really throw themselves into it with their energy and their ideas, and it just keeps spreading, you know. It's just a remarkable thing. I'd love to take credit for all of it. Frankly, I had almost nothing to do with it.
And that's also, I think, one of the reasons why this has reached where it is. You are so modest, so humble.
I've got a lot to be modest about.
But where do you see this heading? Like, you know, you have Fabiano here, you have Levon here. It's beautiful.
We've
You
got
walk
almost
around.
all of them here.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's St. Louis, tomorrow the world. You know, I'd love to answer your question and tell you where it's headed, but the truth is, I have no idea. What people come up with here, that's how things take shape. We hear great ideas, we implement them.
So you don't have like this plan, and you're
No,
not
we
like
don't.
going after it and stuff like nothing
No.
like that.
No, I'd love to tell you that, yeah, I conceived of all of this. I didn't conceive of any of it. It was the staff who did the whole thing. And Joy Bray, the leader of the club and of the Hall of Fame, she is just remarkable beyond belief. You know, and she's a nice person too, on top of that. Really gets you, you know, when you find somebody real and talented and they're very nice. That's very annoying because you don't get many people like that.
Brilliant. Well, Rex, it's been an
Thank
absolute
you so
pleasure
much.
talking to you to understand how things build up. You know, I myself am like an entrepreneur in India.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
learning, and with this conversation, I myself learned a lot. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
so much. And while you're here, go see the arch. It's one of the greatest, maybe the greatest monument in the world. And I got to watch it being built as it came together in 1965. Watched it from 3 miles away at St. Louis University. And there were cartoons in newspapers all over the world showing that when the arch came together, they missed. Of course, they didn't miss. They were within 1/8 of an inch of being correct, and they got it. And then we have just 2 blocks down the street is probably one of the, not probably, is one of the most magnificent cathedral basilicas in the world, the St. Louis Basilica. I would say you've got what is obviously greater. I'd have to give some concessions to St. Peter's in Rome. And after that, you know, it's pretty tough to come up with a clear number two because certainly St. Louis would be uh, in that ranking. And then the architecture in the city is incredible. It throughout the entire city, you see these beautiful red brick buildings, and it's sort of an accident. We had a big fire here in St. Louis in 1849, and the city fathers declared, all right, no more buildings made of wood. Everything must be brick and stone. And that's why if you drive anywhere throughout the city of St. Louis, you will find no wooden houses. It's all brick and stone. And it has an immense beauty that it carries with it. And there's so many wonderful things about this place.
Yeah, someone told me that it has the biggest park in USA.
Yeah, we do. Forest Park.
I mean,
it's right over
inside
here.
a city.
Yeah, yeah, it's huge. 2 miles by 4 miles or something like that. It's
Yeah.
big. And
So a lot to see and a lot of
tremendous amount
chess.
to see,
So
yeah.
I think I'll try to balance both of that.
It's like India. There's a lot to see in India, a lot of
Yeah.
places to go. So much is true. So much of that is happening here in St. Louis. It's a wonderful place. I'm happy to be here. Finally back home after years away. So, but thank you so much for
Thank you,
allowing
Rex.
me this time. Thank you.
Yeah, very kind
you.
of you, and thank you, Rex, for your time.
Thank you.
Guys, Rex Sinkerfield, the man behind the St. Louis Chess Club, joining us here. Such a wonderful conversation we had here. Also, I think I pretty much understood how he has managed to build this thing entirely here with so much of love and affection. But yeah, I mean, we have the second game of today. The second rapid game has begun. And yes, guys, Vishy Anand needs to strike back now. Another loss, and it'll get out of hand to get back into the matchup. And let's get it going here. Let me get the chessboard so that we can follow. Right now, the score is heavily in Garry's favor, but Vishy can pull this one back. It'll be very interesting. So here we have the game started off with d4. Maybe I can go on this board to just take you through the opening. d4, d5, knight f3, c6, e3 played by Vishy. And we have a super chat here by Samudrascapes, who says, Rex and Genie, respect to you both and the St. Louis Chess Club. You have set a benchmark for the future of chess. Travel with Nikhil Roshan. Hello, dosto. Please hit that like button. Yes, for sure. Thank you, Samudrascapes, for your super chat. Okay. I'm pretty sure Vishy is under a bit of pressure here for sure, guys. It's not easy to be down 3 points in the match, but because this is clutch chess, okay, guys, just put back the charger there, and this is the live board position. Let's go to full screen. And guys, we have another very, very special person joining in. I don't understand why Vishy actually pushed his pawn to e3, but maybe I will understand it if a grandmaster could help me understand this nuances. We have the one and only Harshit Bhai joining in.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, Sagar bhai and everyone watching. How are you?
Harshit Bhai, good to see you. I heard that you are on fire in Houston.
I just played one game yesterday, but it was such a tough game. I finished at 11 p.m. in the night.
Really?
I was the last person to finish, but Rook end game में somehow I won bhai.
Whom did you play against yesterday, Harshit Bhai?
He was a young Indian 2200 player, like 18-year-old.
What's his name?
Actually, I'm not sure. I forgot.
Wow, Harshit Bhai is like
But
that player, who says, I
it was
don't
very good.
remember who I play, I just play with white or black pieces.
But I just saw that Rex had joined, and it was so nice to hear, his thoughts and like his support towards
I
the
can
chess community.
understand how he has managed to build everything here, Harshit Bhai. He's just so much at ease with what is going on, not in a hurry, nothing, everything is done carefully, beautifully. It's amazing. So, knight to d7 played here by Garry, not the best move, by the way. And Harshit Bhai, did you see what happened in the previous game? It
Yeah,
was
I think,
heartbreaking.
yeah, because if he won that match, Vishy would have been leading. He would have
Yes.
been leading by 1 point. Now he's trailing by 3 points. If he wins this match, he's still going to be in striking distance. Just played this move pawn to a4. We've seen in freestyle, we've seen in chess 960, where the rooks are on the edges. We generally want to activate them by pushing the a or h pawn forward, and a4 played by Vishy.
But Harshit Bhai, I somehow, whenever I look at Vishy here, he looks quite relaxed. But then under time pressure, he's getting a bit nervous. Like right now, also, I don't see him like, oh, he's under pressure or something. So I believe that it's not like he is worried by facing Garry. Like, I think he has that under control. What is a problem for sure is that when the time is running low, Fishy is not able to sort of come up with the moves as quickly like he used to do before.
But that's why he's playing much faster in this round. Look at the clock. 23 minutes 50 seconds for Vishy, less than 19 minutes for Gary. He's improvising. And if he manages to, get that time management aspect in his favor, I think Vishy still has very good chances to win this match.
Yeah, well said. By the way, Ninad Desa in the chat says he's good at hiding his emotions, not controlling them. Not sure, guys. Not sure. But yeah, let's see. I personally think, and I think Harshit Bhai, when someone makes a comeback to chess after a long time trouble is really difficult. That's one of the problems.
Are you saying it with
Yes,
experience?
100%. I think when the time goes low, it gets very stressful. I
Mm-hmm.
could feel it, especially in our match. But even before that, when I was playing some tournaments leading up to it, that was the issue. So I think one of the best things that Vishy can do here is keep a lead on the clock. Garry is now in his element. Look at him. He's so focused.
Played e5 and look at him, he's broken in the center. If you capture on e5 twice, the bishop is going to come to e5, and then the bishop is already eyeing on that b2 square. So let's say d takes e5, knight takes e5, takes and then the b2 pawn could be a potential target. Gary is definitely playing very active chess right now.
Yeah, he's playing actively, Harshit Bhai, but do you think that this e5 is a good move? What would you respond back with the white pieces?
It's a tough question. I mean, I don't think I want to take twice. So maybe d5, knight e5, and bishop c3. Because I definitely don't want your bishop to come into e5.
But then I take here, pawn
Take.
takes, and actually you have a very nice bishop here, but your bishop on b1 is a bit passive.
Yeah, and maybe you can play f6 here with black and just blunt my bishop,
Right,
perhaps.
f6 or knight e7 to knight g6 with bishop e could be something. Yeah, f6 looks like a good idea with popping the bishop out. Right, so maybe not take, but there is a very interesting move here, Harshit Bhai. It seems like very difficult to play. The engine
h4.
suggests it. And maybe we can also ask our chat. I think Vishy won't do it because it's really very weird move.
Oh, bishop b4, e4, knight e1.
Bishop b4, not
No.
that great by.
It's not easy to find it
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
not easy. It's not easy for sure. And I don't think someone would risk it because it's so difficult to assess such a move. But the move I can show you because it's not so even clear even after making the move is c4.
And if e4,
Yeah,
do you want to
e4 knight
sacrifice
d2 is
knight d2?
something that white is saying okay. But if you take dc4, this gives white a serious edge after
1
knight
d2.
d2.
And the knight is going to jump to c4, potentially give knight d6 check at some point.
Yeah,
This
this is such
is
a tough idea, right? Like if Vishy plays this, that would be insanely good.
I will. What are the chances you think?
I don't think this is possible. Come on. It's too much. And also with 3 points behind in the match, it's not a move you make because you don't, I mean, you don't have the understanding of this position, right? That's so deep.
But don't you think that when you're down 3 points, that's when you're more incentivized to play a move like c4 and complicate the game to try and make a comeback?
In a way, yes, but I feel like it's not it's not something that Vishy is going to do here.
I mean, I mean, it's a very weird move because you're giving up a pawn.
Yeah.
You're also allowing your opponent to get space in the center. But as we know in chess 960, what's the center? We don't know.
Yes, absolutely. It's very difficult to say because look at the queens right now. They're absolutely not playing in the position. And you can activate it with h4, h5. You can activate it with g3 here. You could even potentially go like this. And this is what is lovely about Fischer Random Chess, about Chess 960. I think Harshit has had first hand experience of playing it at the Grenke Chess, right? Harshit, but it was, you enjoyed it so much.
I loved it. I loved it. It's a very innovative. Like you have to be very innovative when you're playing chess 960. You know, the more that Vishy is thinking about this position, the more likely I think that he's going to play this move pawn to c4 because he senses that he this is a critical moment. He has been thinking for more than 3 minutes. Let's go.
Let's go, bhai. Vishy, come on. And I could see here everyone, Oh my goodness!
He
He
plays it.
plays it!
Crazy.
Vishy OP in the chat, guys. Really, really, hats off to Vishy Anand for finding a very beautiful move. And look at Garry. I'm pretty sure he didn't expect it.
He for sure did not expect it. And this time, he's not even staring at Vishy in the eye. He's staring on the board. He's like, what is this move?
He's like, okay, Vishy, respect for this move. Generally when it's not a good move like we saw yesterday, he would like stare. But I think
Mhm.
he loves this move.
I mean, it's also very much in the style of the position because the bishop on b1, we were always talking about how that bishop is quite passive there. Now, the bishop can jump into f5 as you highlighted in one of the variations.
Yes.
This looks very promising for white. What a move! Even after losing the last game on time, still I mean, very, very sharp play by Vishy.
The tiger is wounded, but not down yet.
Like we are waiting for that one roar from the Madras tiger. And then it's going to be
Absolutely. If Vishy strikes back here, it will be a lot of fun. And I think it's been a trend like this in this match, Harshit Bhai, that whenever Vishy has had white, we have gotten more exciting games. When Garry has had white, we have had more like solid battles in general,
Hmm.
because Garry hasn't been really risking it with the white pieces. He's playing very solid chess and so on.
Can we just remind everyone watching the format one? So they are playing free, like they're playing the chess 960 right now. And what are they playing after this?
Always chess 960. All the games are chess 960 only, but every day a position is drawn and they play 4 games on it, 2 rapids, 2 blitz. So
Okay.
this position that we have, the starting position, will be played for another 2 blitz games. This is the second rapid game. And every day, the points, the stakes are risen. That's why it clutch chess. Yesterday, it was 1 point for a win, half for a draw, and 0 for a loss. Today, it's 2 for a win, 1 for a draw, and 0 for a loss. And it will be tomorrow it will be 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, and 0 for a loss. Sorry, 1.5 for a draw tomorrow.
Mhm.
वही कर रहा था.
बोलते हैं
Harshit bhai, are you back? I think we are back here, guys. Sorry for that small disconnection. We have someone who's contributed 10 memberships, Samudrascapes, and has also contributed 1000 rupees. Thank you so
Wow.
much. Thank you. And I hope that the format was clear, Harshit bhai, or did my voice break up before that?
No, 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 it was clear. I got
Okay.
it. They're playing 4 games of chess 960 from the same position.
Yeah.
2 more games of blitz after this. Pawn to, by the way, after c4, few more moves, if we can catch up on that. Because e4, Gary gained space in the center, knight d2, and he goes for f5, opening up his own bishop on e8. Bishop h5 is an idea. And again, Vishy needs to find an important move here.
Harshit bhai, what is
No
that
way.
move?
No way.
I think it's a beautiful move. It's right in the spirit of Benko Gambit.
खोल दो भाई position g4.
Yes, Dipti Thareja, well done. What a strong player in the chat. Sendil Nathan, Iris, Arnav Agarwal, G4, Harshit bhai.
Incredible. And the point is if f takes g4,
Yeah.
c takes d5, c takes d5, and now white to play.
No
Big move.
way.
Big move. Chop chop.
Guys, what do you play with white pieces?
And there is a very important reason. I will give you a small hint. After the last move, you can give black a check by long castling. No, you can't.
You can't. Yeah, king will remain there only.
Oops. But knight takes e4.
Yes,
Boom.
exactly. Knight e4, pawn takes, and bishop takes.
Bishop takes.
And you can't defend
No way.
b7.
No way to stop the attack on the pawn on b7. By the way, this castling is so confusing because I thought that white can long castle here, but he cannot.
भाई हर्षित भाई आप थोड़ा chess 960 आज कम ही देखो, like just don't because you have to play classical chess in some time. Oh, he takes on d5 first, but that should also be okay, right? Then you'll go g4 next move perhaps. And Vishy takes a sip of water, but maybe it's, I'm not so sure.
If g4 now, what's the big difference?
I think the major thing, Harshit bhai, is that after g4 here, he doesn't take it and then we transpose if he takes it, but he'll go g6, keeping up this, and perhaps this pawn which were taken and that tension which was released is in black's favor.
Gary is not going to give any easy victories for Vishy. Vishy has to fight for every single point in this match. He goes for it. He goes
Whoa,
for
let's
g4.
go.
Oof. Very energetic play.
By Vishy, Anand is really playing well. And I think someone said it very well that it's crazy that Vishy is playing so well and yet is 3 points down in the match. It's insane.
What does that say about how Gary is playing?
Yeah, I think Gary's also been I think yesterday Gary made a very nice quote which was put up on Chessbase India's Instagram by Himang Bhai. He said that judging by how lucky I was, I must look at my back when I go, to the hotel because it's I have had insane luck.
G4, as you pointed out, FG4, big mistake because knight takes E4. Black has to play G6 and protect that pawn chain.
Yeah, let's have a look at the analysis on this big screen here. So if G4, if takes here, you take back knight E4, pawn takes and bishop E4, very powerful, attacking the pawn on B7.
Exactly. By the way, just to remind everyone, if white wants to castle, he has to move his rook away from D1 in
Yes.
order to long castle. He has to play something like rook D2 and then be able to give long castle check.
Not check by, it will still, king will be on C1 and rook will go to D1. The
Oh,
position of the king and rook remains the same.
so confusing.
So it's not that here Gary, the thing is that white looks a bit cramped, right? Like
Hmm.
it doesn't have much space, while black has all this huge space that is there. But white's pieces are much more active. Like in a way, knight is coming here, this knight is developed, the bishop is open, the rook could swing over, while black is a
Hmm.
little bit underdeveloped in a way.
Rook A3, Rook C3. I love this idea. Bringing that rook in the game and immediately threatening the black king. Rook to A3. What a rook lift.
Yeah, that would be very nice if Vishy does play it at some point. Mayur says to short castle, white has to clear. Knight g3. Bishop can't move. So first knight has to move. Then bishop moves. Then the king will go to g1 and rook will come to f1. Guys, remember the final position of the castling is the same as traditional chess. King on c1 and d1, king on g1 and f1. इंटरनेट का बोलोगे कोर्टनी को बोलना पड़ेगा
मैसेज लिखो ना
लिखा I think we are back here and Harshit bhai, some of the issues with the internet still persist here. Yesterday it was all very smooth, but today it's constantly being disconnected and connecting. I hope that we will be able to get rid of it, but it comes back in like 30 seconds. So I hope the internet is like Vishy's comeback, it's quick. I mean, sorry, Vishy's comeback is like internet. So, Harshit bhai, while Garry Kasparov is thinking and he has 12 minutes 24 seconds, a question to you is who is your opponent today?
I'm playing my friend actually, Luka Budisavljevic.
Oh, the
He's
top seed of the tournament, second
yes,
seed.
second seed. He's a Serbian grandmaster, and I'm playing him with the black pieces.
Wow. Are you prepared, Harshit bhai?
I'm always prepared.
Wow. That's amazing. And Harshit
But
bhai
for the
has,
game, or
yes, game only, Harshit bhai. What else are you talking about?
I'm joking.
No, no, no.
Yeah, I'm preparing.
Preparing. So the question here for you, Harshit bhai, is um, that you have now a streak of 28 games without a loss. Is that correct, or is the streak even more?
No, 28 games. Classical.
Because 3 tournaments you are unbeaten and now one more game. Does that put pressure on you, or you are cool about it?
No, it doesn't put any pressure. I mean, I'm just playing every single game as it comes. I didn't even know this actually. Like, it just happened to, it happened to exist. I mean, I think Abhimanyu Mishra has like 64, 65 games unbeaten. So it's like, sometimes there is this phase where you're struggling. Sometimes there is a phase where you're doing very well. So I think it's just, it's comes and goes.
Hmm. But by 28 games is not common for people. So
Hey, guys, I'll just say one thing.
yeah,
Like, I finished three of my tournaments in Europe, and then I landed in Mumbai, and then I came to Temple of Chess to meet Sagar Bhai and say hi to him. And then we played some training games because actually we only
I
played
you
one training
won.
game. We only played one training game because Sagar was preparing for his match against Levy. पहले ही गेम में सागर भाई ने हरा दिया मुझे यार.
Bhai, that game is not counted, no, in the official databases. So you were so kind to me. Harshit Bhai always motivates me in life. So even there he came and said, I will let you win, Sagar Bhai. So then you can actually go and beat Levy, which didn't happen, unfortunately, Harshit Bhai. It was very close, I think.
By if Levy comes to India, we have to take him to Temple of Chess.
Yes. And make him play against. वहां पे डेथ मैच करेंगे भाई टेम्पल.
अरे bye bye.
Gary is 62, Anand is 56. I don't think there is much difference. Well, there is a difference of 6 years there. And I think 6 years is a lot, right? At some point, I mean, you do get more tired, but I love Gary's energy. Like, he is
Yeah.
so powerful.
By
And
the way,
guys,
he's down to less than 10 minutes now.
yeah,
What are his options? One is G6. We understood he cannot take on G4. Is there any other move that Gary is considering right now? Is it F4? No, because F4 knight takes E4 still.
right. Absolutely. So F4, just take this and pawn takes, guys. Remember, this is freestyle chess. This is chess 960. This is Fischer Random chess. It attacks the b7 pawn. Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, the bishop has turned into a rocket there, bhai. Hitting the pawn and the rook. No way for black to defend you. So Gary has to play G6. Vishy surely feels more comfortable with his time situation here. He has 6.5 minutes more. So इस game में time का problem तो नहीं आएगा.
Right, and look at the atmosphere here, guys. It's really intense. You can just feel it here. Both the players completely into it. And you know, Harshit Bhai, it's like a big hall there upstairs. And it's just two of them playing. Sometimes it can get a bit, you know,
It's lonely at the top, bhai.
lonely. Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes Harshit Bhai, I wonder if me being lonely while commenting. Oh, he plays G6. Choose. So I was saying, like, sometimes I wonder if me being lonely here means that I am moving towards the top. But I think it works the other way. If you are at top, you are lonely. Not that if you are lonely, you are at top. I am sometimes lonely, but not at top.
By then I come in the middle.
Yeah, no, I
I
also, I think when you come, there's so much of fun energy by. So please do keep coming, Harshit Bhai, from time to time.
By the way, G6, and now I'm already considering your idea of rook A3 to C3.
Yeah,
I'm
this looks
trying to
good.
bring this rook in the game and put some pressure on the black king. Queen H1 पे कैसे game मिलाना है यार? Because ये G6 के बाद I somehow feel a bit stuck. Can I play F3?
Yeah,
Put more
F3 looks
fuel in the
interesting.
fire?
Correct. Because you want to break here. It looks very interesting. I think F3 is going to be Vishy's move. What do you say?
Yeah, F3 because bishop G3 is also an idea. By the way, look at that black bishop on E8. It's surrounded by the pawns of his oh, like he's surrounded by the pawns on the same color, which means that now you want to exchange the dark squared bishop. Very important as white to try and get rid of that bishop on B8. That's why F3 bishop G3 is a nice
Oh,
positional
nice.
idea.
That's a great point. I think Harshit by F3 is coming. Because look
F3.
at this F3. The
Mm-hmm.
idea is take, and
Mm-hmm.
take, right? It's same.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same idea. I love it. I love it. Vishy has to play F3 here. I mean, there are other moves as well which are good, but F3 is just in the spirit.
And I think that he should play this move fast, put pressure on the clock. He lost the last game on the clock. This time, he can use time to his advantage if he plays this move F3 quickly.
I agree. What about Rook A3, Harshit Bhai? Just getting the rook here,
I like it. It's a bit unorthodox.
check here, and then King B8. Somehow, Yeah, his king gets a bit safe in the corner. And then maybe you go a5, rook a6, and then you also try your rook lift. So maybe rook a3, Vishy could get tempted, but not the best. f3 is really good. Another move, Harshit Bhai, is to push the pawn to a5, because then I limit your scope and give myself even more space.
To be honest, once we saw this move pawn to f3, it's hard for me to imagine Vishy playing something else because it feels to be in the spirit of the position
It's like
where,
love at
where
first sight, yeah, Harshit Bhai. Once you see it, you can't stop thinking about it.
yeah, I mean,
Has it
it's
happened to
hard
you
for-
ever?
not yet, not yet.
You mean I was talking about some move that you see in your games?
अरे भाई ये क्या
Harshit Bhai, always thinking wrong things at wrong time. And
F3 is actually the love at first sight for me that
yeah,
I was waiting for.
exactly. I think this is the move. But let's see for Vishy, is it love at first sight, their f3 move, or is it something he'll come to by actual deduction? He can think about this move, that move, and then
Bishop
realize,
A2. Bishop A2, King B1, and like Bishop A2 also seems in some ways quite logical.
hmm,
Trying put pressure on the D5 pawn. Gary always, giving that small stare to Vishy. Understand, and do you think this is one of the strategies that Gary used throughout his career? Like, staring at his opponent, maybe not just to put psychological pressure, but also to understand what their facial expression and what they feel about the position.
by Gary is tremendously psychological. Yesterday when he came out of his interview, he said he was surprised that Vishy was nervous. So he's
Hmm.
actually looking at his oh, he goes rook a3. Harshit bhai, your move is on the board and the bar doesn't like it. But I think it's not about the bar right here. It's a very nice, interesting human move.
Yeah, I think Vishy is inspired. Rook to A3 is an inspired move here. He's trying to bring the rook to C3. Not sure if it's the best, but certainly seems quite practical.
Yeah, I'm liking it actually. A4, rook a3, with the idea of getting the rook to c3. But we did see this very nice move, bishop d6. Because, for black, it's now no longer about finding good moves to create something. It's all about just keeping this center that black has built. Because if you manage to keep it, it's going to really hinder white pieces.
And he's going to play bishop d6 for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. Yep, he
भाई
does
वो
it.
ऐसे खेल के ऐसे थोड़ा हिलाते हैं यार, like he just check.
Rook c3 check, king b8. And he finds the best sequence of moves. The knight on g8 is going to come from e7 to c6. Gary is feeling the nuances in the position quite well here. Bishop d6, king b8 was not so easy.
Yeah, nicely played there by Garry Kasparov and Harshit Bhai. I have this feeling that if after that game one, now he
f3 now.
plays f3. Okay.
f3.
I was saying, like, after that game one, what happened for today? If you get outplayed in game two, that would really hit your confidence. Like, that would be a huge blow.
Yeah.
And right now it's happening actually. Vishy is in bit of a trouble, but okay, I mean, I'm not so sure if it's so easy to understand that, right? Like the bar is showing it's in favor for black. What's your feeling? Like, can Gary feel it that he's better here?
I mean, with black, if I can somehow get a6, king a7, rook c8, then I'm definitely much better.
Mm.
If I can connect both of my rooks, which is
Wow.
why I was thinking about this move a6. In the
It's one of the
meantime,
best moves, Arshid Bhai.
the only problem with that is that I have to be careful about a potential sacrifice on e4. That's my only worry.
But once you make this kind of square here, then
Correct.
that becomes a little bit less dangerous, right? Like take,
And you have
take.
rook a7,
And
very
now,
important.
yes, rook a7 or even king a7, because just taking here, you are able to sort of organize your pieces very well.
So I think a6 will be the move that Gary plays in this position. to play king a7 and connect those two rooks.
But look at his time. He has 6 minutes on the clock. I think time has been Gary's biggest enemy here and also his biggest friend. He looks up, he's like, not really flowing, flow nahi ho raha hai yaar. But
Okay, I mean, I know he spots a move, but I think that he's contemplating between two moves that he finds tempting. One of them is a6. The other move that I think he might be considering right now is knight to e7. Just developing that knight from g8, which is not doing anything, seems a logical move.
yes, and by the way, Sendil Nathan in the chat with a suggestion. Very nice. I want view. Oh, by the way, he played the pawn 2 steps ahead, which is even better, perhaps, Harshit, by than a6. Even gaining more space and gets up, showing his energy there. Bhai, Harshit bhai, what do you think if you faced Garry Kasparov in a matchup? What would you do? Like psychologically, is it intimidating for you?
I will definitely wear a hat and goggles so that I don't give him any chance to stare at me in the eye, because I would be so nervous if Gary looks at me in the eye. I mean, the intensity with which he looks at his opponent, you kind of, even looking at it from the screen, you can feel the heat which he's putting on his opponents. He goes pawn to a5 now, like he's trying to go king a7 rook c8. Fundamentally, these players are so good. Even though they have not played for a very long time, they know where the pieces belong. They immediately look at a position and their intuition tells them that my king needs to go to a7 here. Bishop to g3 by Vishy, trading those dark squared bishops which I was mentioning would be a nice trade for white.
Yeah, it's a nice move here by Vishy. He's trying to sort of trade this up. And if you take here, White would be very happy because it gets one of his pieces into the game, putting even more pressure. I think much better to just move the knight away, like knight f6, knight b6, or even queen f6 for that matter. Getting the queen into the game would be really good.
I think queen f6 is definitely going to be the move of choice for Gary right now. With the queen not doing anything on h8, I think queen f6 will be bringing that queen towards the more central square.
Yes, and by the way, I'm very surprised. You know what Gary did? He had 5 minutes 42 seconds, Harshit Bhai, and when he came, he had 5 minutes 8 seconds. So he actually spent close to 35 seconds away from the board in a position where he has only 5 minutes left.
I mean,
That is not a good use of time.
I mean, trust me, even though Gary was not at the board, he was still thinking about the position. So even if
Pretty sure.
we didn't see him at the board, his brain was like calculating about the position. Bishop g3, what queen f6 just needs to play now. He needs to play quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be Gary who will lose on the clock.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to make his move here. And it's an important moment, but it's good news for Vishy Anand fans here that Gary is taking more time. If he goes down below 4 minutes, it's just early days in the game. It's what, 12 moves only.
No way. This has
Yes.
only been 12 moves.
Yeah, I think people are saying maybe he's going to lose on the clock this time. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, guys? There could be an Uno reverse here.
3 minutes 45 seconds for him. Knight to b6 is another candidate move, putting pressure on the a4 pawn. And no,
Oh,
but he was queen
finds
f6.
it.
Yeah,
Finds it.
yeah,
The best
yeah.
move, guys. The best move there.
The
Once.
best move from the best player.
Yeah. Guys, remember that whenever people talk about the greatest of all time, they say three names always: Bobby Fischer, Magnus Carlsen, and Garry Kasparov. And one of those, that is Magnus, refers to Gary as the GOAT. So, actually, in a way, you are looking at the greatest of all time there on your screen. And for Indians, well, Vishy Anand is like this, the father of the nation. He has not just led by his chess, but by the way of his conduct, the first ever player in the country to win not just the Arjuna Award or the Khel Ratna or so on. He's the first sports player ever in India not chess, but sports player, to win Padma Vibhushan. It's the second highest civilian award after Bharat Ratna, which is why everyone says, Vishy should get a Bharat Ratna. But that's another topic. That's how great Vishy Anand is. So it's like battle of two ultimate legends.
Yeah, you said it the best. You said it the best. Nothing more to add there. This is one of the most exciting battles that people have seen after 30 years. That's when they played the last time. Queen to f6. Vishy now utilizing his time advantage. He knows that if I have a time advantage, it's of no use. If I keep playing fast, a lot of youngsters make this mistake. If they have a time advantage, they blitz out the moves. But Vishy showing the experience, taking his time in this important moment. Queen g1 seems like a decent move here. Trying to trade on d6 and go queen g3.
Interesting move. Queen g1. Don't you feel, Harshit, it's a bit too slow? Like Vishy might be thinking it's time to sack something, yeah, now.
Oh,
And isn't it a fork here, Harshit Bhai? Look at this. Take on e4. You take
okay.
back. I now take with the bishop this time because if you take back, I take here.
But can I not start by taking on g3 first?
Exactly, you will do that. And now I have an option with taking on d5 and b7.
Queen
Taking.
g2.
Yeah, he doesn't do all this.
g2 played.
All this nonsense is not done here by Vishy. He goes queen g2, but the engines improve Gary's chances because remember, Harshit Bhai was saying at some point, if black can get king out and connect the rooks, it would be perfect coordination for him.
Absolutely. And then the white king on c1 cannot go on the king side because there's still this knight on f1 which is preventing him from castling short, which means after king a7, rook c8, the white king is coming under fire.
I agree. I agree. Oh man, Gary, it's like the clock versus Gary's position. What is more important? Is it his 1.5 edge that he has on the position or a 5 minute deficit on the clock?
And this is very important because if Vishy does not win this, the lead is going to be very big. I mean, I think that if Gary wins this match, one might even say that Gary has, like, essentially clinched this match. I mean,
Not true.
although tomorrow
No,
is also
why?
3 points.
Because
Yeah,
remember,
yeah, yeah. True,
tomorrow
true.
12 points are at stake, Harshit Bhai.
Yeah,
Three
yeah, true,
points
true.
for a win for every game and 4 games. So that's 12. And if Gary wins right now, he would have a 5 point lead. So this is the thing about clutch chess. It's like, okay, you play well on day 1, you play well on day 2, but all that matters is day 3 actually. Because
Even
day
like
1, Harshit Bhai, 4 points at stake. Day 2, 8 points at stake. And day 3 is combined 4 plus 8.
12.
Yeah.
Less than 2 minutes for Gary.
Oh
He's
my
now
God.
entering that red zone where, he needs to buckle up and play fast.
Let's go, Gary. Come on. You have like 13 moves only made. That's too less. Play.
He's trying to play perfect chess, but he will play king a7. For sure, for sure.
But Harshit Bhai, I'm thinking that no matter how good Gary will play, he cannot continue it beyond now 2-3 moves because then he will be low on time and he'll start making inaccuracies. So,
Yeah.
in a practical sense, his time management has been quite poor.
If I were to put you on the spot right now and ask you, whom do you think is going to win this
Vishy
match?
wins. Vishy wins
Vishy
this.
win?
Too much time lead. 97
E7.
already. Not the most accurate move. And look at Gary shaking his head. He's not happy there. His best move was king a7, guys. Now, Vishy must take here or take here. Arshit Bhai, let's try to calculate if there are some sacrifices in. Oh, now this would work, right? This idea which we were talking bishop e4. Because if
Because
takes,
Bishop,
this check.
nice spot. Very nice spot. Let's do it. F takes e4. If you take back, let me just chop your pawn off on e4. Bishop takes e4.
Yeah. This
Isn't
is
this
great.
going to the
He
pawn?
gets back his pawn. I mean, not gets back, he is pawn up.
Why is black still doing well?
Because you don't take here, Harshit Bhai, you just put your knight here, which is like, I mean, if for an engine it might be easy, but for a human being, it will come as a shock that you've lost a pawn.
Okay, Vishy has to go for this. He has to take the pawn on e4, recognize that Gary has made a tactical mistake here after knight to e7.
Oh, also people are saying there's some g5 business in the air. Oh my god.
But g5 I'm not the biggest fan of, because after queen to e6,
Yeah.
you get rid of the tension that you've had there on the queen side. Now, no, he takes. He takes on e4, f takes.
And Gary takes back immediately
I'm
without
very,
losing
I'm
time.
very curious to see the reaction. He takes.
Oh, he was ready. He's ready.
He was
He's
ready. He
ready.
saw it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
knight
knight
b6.
b6. Engine like
Man,
play. Engine like play by Garry Kasparov there. Nice one. मजा आ गया भाई.
you say stockfish. I hear Garry Kasparov. He has played knight to b6, hitting the pawn on a4. Incredible chess.
And he's also looking at Vishy like, okay, Vishy, what do you think? What do you think about my moves? Yeah, you like it? You like what I'm
मजा आया
doing?
कि नहीं?
Now I'm attacking your bishop. I'm also attacking your pawn. What's your plan now? I think Vishy can go back and defend. Yeah, he does that. Bishop c2. Oh, what? He's not happy. He's like, It's amazing, guys, to see Garry Kasparov's expressions because, it's like an entirely another element to the broadcast. You generally have the bar, you have the heart rate, you have the clock, and then
And you have
Gary's
Gary's expression.
expressions.
5,500 people watching. Do like the stream. This is the most critical part of the game. After bishop c2, king a7. No, he
Oh,
takes the pawn.
oh भाई
He
उधर
just
से
chops
मर
off
रहा
the pawn.
था. Bishop was also there. भूल ही गए. मैं तो भूल गया था भाई. Oh, Harshit bhai, find a good move for white now.
e4.
Harshit bhai is always born ready and always at first sight finding the best move. E4 takes knight e4 is coming in. Let's go, boys.
e4 and also threatening e5. Don't forget, after e4 I also threaten e5. I think Gary sees it. I think Gary sees that white has this move pawn to e4. It's an intermediate move.
Yeah, it's difficult to face such a move like e4 because look, you could potentially win the pawn on d4, but it's so dangerous with the rook here. And now just jumping in with the knight, attacking the queen and the bishop is game over.
Yeah, cannot take my pawn on d4. It's a poisoned pawn. e4 is important.
Yeah.
If you don't play e4, black is going to get enough time to go king a7, and then suddenly the black king is out of the danger.
I agree. Vishy needs to see e4 and I think he will see it.
He goes for it.
E4. Oh, Gary playing
E6.
quick. Bhai, Gary is, when under time pressure, he's playing very fast, yeah? He's good at
Is it
time
is
trouble.
it time to play knight to e3 potentially?
Bhai,
Is
Harshit
it
bhai, what is
time to
wrong
put
with
more
you
pressure?
finding all the best moves?
Just get all your pieces in the game.
It
Attack,
seems
tactics.
like people in Houston are in trouble, Harshit bhai, with you in such form. Hot form. Best move, 93.
Yep. Let's go. Let's go. This should be an intuitive move. Bringing one more piece in the action.
Why Gary keeps looking at Vishy, says Horsey. Well, I think that's how Gary's chess is, right? He just tries to not only play on the board, he also plays with his opponent, psychologically putting pressure on them. Rookie one
And
played
rookie
by
one.
Vishy. Not the
And
best.
Gary is completely flabbergasted by this. He takes on c2.
Yeah, he takes there. Why? It's so complicated. I don't even understand, like, why is that so bad? I mean, it looks okay, right? King c2.
It looks okay, but the problem is just after rook c2 or king c2, king a7 next, and
He takes
you
with the
don't
rook.
play a big threat because ed5, queen d5.
So, but I have e5, right? That's what I want to do anyway. Like, you go
But
king
e5,
a7, I go
bishop
e5.
b4. Bishop b4.
Oh, he
It's
played.
okay. Yep.
Bhai, Gary is doing this very well. It seems like he takes his time, gets the complete knowledge of the terrain, and then starts playing really well.
The tables, the tides have turned because now suddenly the white king seems to be under a lot of pressure. I have a feeling that Gary is going to take this one as well.
You think so?
I do think so.
And also Gary's play is improving, yeah, with every game, which is actually bad news for Vishy. 93,
93.
which is
Is
a
it
good
time
move. He's putting
play rook
pressure.
c8?
What? Why
Rook
is he
c8?
acting like this? I mean, come on, 93 is a normal move. Come on. 1 minute for Gary. 4 minutes,
Yeah.
44 seconds for Vishy. 10-second increment per move. Brings the rook
Yep.
to
Rook
c8.
c8.
Best move.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Badhiya chess. What do you do now, Harshit? By ED5? But ED5 just knight d5, yes?
I was, it's no ED5. I was not very happy by, even I was thinking if I have to take on c8 potentially, but no, I don't like that as well. No, I'm not seeing this intuitive strong idea for white in this position, because every move that comes to my mind is a mistake.
Hmm. And also the thing is, Gary, he senses it, no? Like he has this killer instinct. When he gets something like a good position, his body language says, I want to win. Like
Hmm.
that that killer instinct is there in him.
Very tense moment here for Vishy. He needs to somehow stabilize the position, get his king into the safety net. He needs to avoid the other rook joining the attack as well and have no defense against it. Look at Vishy's hands, they're trembling.
Yeah, yeah. No, I have seen this happen with Vishy even when he was in top shape in 2017, 2018. He's generally has this kind of nervousness. Even when he's playing like winning and stuff, he takes.
He takes
Oh, what?
knight. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rook takes c2.
Yeah, takes on c2 first. Do we take with the knight or do we take? I think with the king. Yeah, knight. He
No, he
takes with the
takes with the
knight.
knight.
But now queen d5, right?
Queen d5 or queen c8, or like you can even take on g4. No, you take on g4.
Yeah, queen d5
Many
looks good
options.
because you have everything under control. Actually, it's equal pawns, right? Like Vishy was a pawn down first, but then he got back the pawn on e4.
Oh, queen g4, rook takes c7. What a tactic.
Oh, 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 let's ask.
Ooh.
He doesn't fall for it. Check, and you lose the queen. So queen d5, queen takes d5. And you know the pragmatic player that Vishy is, Harshit Bhai, I think he's already thinking a draw would be good here. Let's go to Blitz where my time edge will definitely give me good chances.
But it's not so easy to make a draw with white. White does have this isolated pawn, and it's an endgame, which means that black is going to have the slight initiative as he has controlled the advance, but he goes rook e6.
Rook e6 played. So you think that
Takes
black is the one pressing here, yeah?
for sure.
Mm.
Maybe rook f8 now. Rook f8 to try and invade with the rook.
Also rook c8 looks nice. There's also a possibility to start. Yeah, I think just rook f8 looks very good.
I think rook f8 is the most tempting move in this position. He goes for it. No, rook d7. He does not go for it. He wants to keep things under control. Gets control of the 7th rank there. Knight to e4.
Yes, knight
Trying
e4,
to
knight
jump
c4.
into c5.
Logically, the result of this game should be a draw. But then again, nothing has been very logical in this match. Like things have gone up and down all the time. So knight takes.
And the rooks have been traded.
Knight g5 played, attacking the pawn on h7.
Pawn to h5 looks very logical. Pawn to h5 with the black pieces played. Gh.
Oh my
Man,
god.
look at the speed with which they're playing. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Gary's knight jumping ahead. Okay, basically, this is a draw, yeah? Like,
Yeah, I think this is heading towards some sort of unequal knight endgame, which should end in a draw. Pawn to b5 by Gary. King d2. But oh, look at what Gary's trying to do. He's trying to create these two pass pawns on the edge of the boards. Don't forget that the knight is a notoriously bad defender against the rook pawn. B5 trying to go A4 B4. Do you
Wow.
think there's still some juice left
Some,
in this end?
I think only black can fight for the full point here. Knight G7, Knight F6, King C2. Harishankar says, my Indianism wants to support Vishy, but Gary is absolute genius. भाई ने ऐसे ही 15 साल राज किया. Kudos, Gary. Yeah, I agree.
King
What a goal.
D3, King D5, centralizing the king and at some point having a passed pawn. Is it enough? Is it going to be enough for Gary to win this game?
King D5, Knight F5. He's coming in with a check here. He wants to push the king away.
I think Vishy has this under control.
Yeah.
Knight back to E3 might be important now.
No,
But he
Knight
goes
G7. It's okay.
check. Are you not afraid of King F7, King G6 potentially?
I think so. He should do this, but if he wants a draw, he might go like King D5,
No
Knight F5.
draw.
No?
No draw for sure. King F7 will
No,
be
he's
played.
doing it. He's doing it, right? They're repeating. They're repeating, guys.
Oh. A draw is a great result for Vishy. He was under pressure from
But
the
also for
last
Gary.
10 to 15 moves.
I mean, both
Yeah.
will be happy because Gary keeps his 3-point lead.
Mm-hmm.
Comes
He
back.
goes back, check, and they look at each other in the eye, shake hands. The second game ended in a draw, and Gary's like, oh.
Yeah, if
they're
only we
discussing
could
the
hear
game.
them. I think this is something in broadcasting that is needed. It's a
Mhm.
small thing. You can hear them for like a minute or so, but it's just so good to listen to
Mhm.
them. I think Gary should be proud of the way he played here. I mean, also Vishy, the way he defended somehow.
I
Nice
mean,
game.
we definitely saw moments of genius there by Vishy. He played this move pawn to G4. He played this move
C4.
pawn
Yeah.
to C4, and there going to take a small break before they start the two Blitz games. Sagar Bhai, what an incredible start to the day in these two rapid games. The first game, Vishy was completely winning, then forgot about the clock, lost on time. Second game, very intense middle game, very strategic central battle where Black had these pawn chain in the center of the board. Finally ended in a draw in the night end game.
And now it's time for Blitz. Two Blitz
Mhm.
games of 5 plus 3. Guys, there will be a break of roughly 14 minutes. And they will be back in 14 minutes. Harshit bhai, will you be joining us for Blitz or do you have to prepare for your game?
I will take some rest maybe, and then I'll keep an eye on the Blitz. If it's exciting, then I'll hop on and
Yes. Maybe if
keep
Vishy
my
wins
thoughts
the
on them.
first Blitz game, then you can come for the second one.
Sure.
You know, we
Yes,
can have a good fun. What time is your round? At what time does it start?
it's at 7 p.m.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of quite late in USA there. But Harshit bhai, I must tell you, I am floored by being in St. Louis. Absolutely floored. Like, I cannot see a better place for chess than here. The amount of things that are being done. I mean, just the amount of investment that's made here for chess is huge.
It's not even close. I mean, I've played a lot of events at the old venue of the St. Louis Chess Club, and even that was spectacular. The new one that I just saw from the videos and your vlog seems like, revamped, seems much better than
Did
the
you see
last
where
one.
we are staying?
Yes, we stayed there a lot actually.
Are
We've
you
stayed in
stayed in
that
that
house
house?
many times. Yes,
It's so nice.
too good.
I'm sleeping like I can sleep in the living room, in the dining
Why?
area. It's so
If
good.
you sleep in a new room every day, you'll still be there for a few weeks.
Yeah, it's nice, and also the weather is nice here. You have strong players. I think if you are a budding player, then coming to St. Louis is not a bad idea, right? Like you get to
Yeah.
interact with top players and so on.
So they have the clutches now between Vishy and Kasparov. They also have a few exciting matchups coming up at the end of the month with clutches where Magnus, Gukesh, Fabi, and Hikaru, all four, will be participating from October 28th to October 30th in St. Louis.
And also, Harshit Bhai, there is US championships in between. So there is
Ah,
a US championship that's happening here where we have uh, Caruana, Levon, Wesley, Neiman, everyone playing. And only Hikaru is not playing because he has to get those 40 games and I think he doesn't want to play like super strong events. Um, but apart from that, everyone's going to play there. There's also women's US
championship.
championship that's happening. So yeah, I think Rex Inkfield, and what I loved is Rex has this financial support that he's putting in. Like he is supporting chess financially, but he's also building a very good competent team of people who are doing things. So that's very nice to
Mhm.
see.
Yeah.
Amazing,
I mean,
Harshit
I'm
Bhai.
hoping at the end of the month that I get to come to St. Louis. I would
Will you?
really love to
Yeah, I
uh,
think.
come and cover because the four players with Magnus and Gukesh playing, Magnus will play after the first time after he becomes a father. Will be very interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, his son would be like 1 month, 1.5 month old at that point. Maybe Ella will also travel. That would be very nice. And with Gukesh having now this kind of very nice moments with Magnus banging the table and Hikaru throwing the key. This will be fun event to see them in action. Of course, Fabi, the guy who can win just about any event in the world of chess. And you know, one of the days, Harshit bhai, we did go to Levon's house here.
Hmm?
He was very kind to invite us for dinner. And then in the evening, we did play Avalon with Fabi, Levon,
Oh,
and everyone. And it's the first time I played Avalon in my life.
भाई जीते के हारे
Uh, I was the क्या बोलते हैं assassin.
assassin.
So I found the Messiah, or what do you call the
Oh,
what is that he has to find? Have you played?
yeah, I've played the Mor,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
Maybe our chat will know.
Morgana or something.
Chat knows everything. So yeah. Okay, Harshit bhai, I think I don't want to waste even a minute of your time because everything is super
Mordred,
important.
Morgana. Yes,
Sorry?
yes. I will take some rest and maybe I'll join you for the Blitz game.
Okay. Okay. Guys,
Bye.
Harshit Raja all the way from Houston joining us and was very nice to have him here for a while. Um, and yeah, I just need to put some scorecard. There is 9 minutes left, and maybe, guys, it's a good time for you to watch something interesting, right? Like I can put, and I can also take a very short break while that happens. Yeah, I have some interesting stuff here from day one. I'm going to put a small game that was the decisive game of yesterday, which could be quite a lot of fun to follow. Welcome everyone to the St. Louis Chess Club where we have the clutch chess legends between Garry Kasparov and Vishy Anand. Well, it's a 12 game matchup where every day they play 2 rapid games and 2 blitz games. This is the third game of the day, the first blitz game that we have between Vishy and Garry. The time control is 5 minutes plus 3 seconds increment. It is chess 960. Let's have a look at the position that we have. The rook is here in the corner, just like a normal game, knight. But then there's a king, and we see the arbiter Chris Bird there. Then we have the queen, bishop, rook as Garry sits in knight and bishop. So this is the starting position. It's 5 minutes plus 3 seconds increment as Vishy comes in. A handshake between these two legends, having played the World Championship match back in 1995. 30 years later, they once again sit opposite each other in this epic clash. But not traditional chess, no opening theory, just pure brutal chess on the board. He goes e6 and now g3, activating the bishop here, Vishy. And Garry can strike in the center with d5, the pawn being supported by the queen. He does play d5. Vishy plays pawn to f4. The players have played 2 rapid games with this position, so they are aware of some nuances. They are aware of how this position would shape up. And yeah, it's all tied up right now at 1-1 as both the rapid games ended in draws. Garry taking his time in the opening, not rushing it. Vishy at 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And maybe Garry's thinking about whether he should take on e4, get his knight out to f6 perhaps. Maybe even go g6, activating the bishop. This bishop could come to c6, knight to c6, so many options. And you have no opening theory to help you. And I think it's a good decision by Garry that he's taking time. He takes the pawn after nearly a minute of thought. Bishop takes e4 by Anand as he attacks the pawn on h7. g6 played, opening up the bishop here. And now this is the square which is slightly weak. You can see here the bishop and the queen looking here. The knight can jump in. So maybe it makes sense to either go c3, d4 or just d3. He goes knight to c3, Vishy brings his knight out. Garry brings his bishop out to c6, offering a trade. You can take on c6, but then the black knight would develop. The position is roundabout equal in the opening. Black can move the queen and then, long castle here. Bishop f3 by Vishy. He brings his bishop 1 square back so that if you take, he can develop with the knight in the center. That's the idea. But I like what Garry does next. He goes knight e7. He wants to play his knight to f5 and then look at the d4 square. That's his plan. And Vishy needs to be careful here. He goes queen e2. No, actually he goes bishop f2. He is controlling the d4 square to some extent. And now, what's Garry going to continue with? He goes knight f5, looking at the d4 square. And Anand now can't push d4. The knight is coming in. If you take on c6, the other knight takes and comes to c6. So white's position looking a bit shaky here. I mean, d3 is maybe possible just to move 1 square ahead. And that's the reason why Vishy has now sunk into a thought, and I think rightly so. Maybe one of the ideas that he can do is to take on c6 and then get his knight out to f3. But he goes queen e2. And in a way, he does allow Garry to play knight to d4, attacking the bishop and the queen when he's ready to give up his bishop. So Garry Kasparov is assessing the dangers of this move, knight d4. It seems like a good move because, taking on f3 means that white simply develops the knight. And this is what Garry would not want to do. I think for him, it's much better to just play knight d4. He does play it, knight to d4, bishop takes d4, and now if bishop takes d4, just take on c6 and get your knight out. So maybe taking with the queen makes a lot of sense. It also clears the path for the king to short castle. So in a way, it's a very useful move there to take with the queen. And Kasparov, needing to make this decision, also takes his time here and takes it. Queen takes d4 with 2 minutes 50 seconds. Vishy long castles here. and gets his rook to d1. Garry gets his king to g8. It's short castling here for black. And Vishy can start now to push his pawns on the king side, but instead he takes on c6, allowing Garry to get his knight out. Knight to f3 played, attacking the queen. Where will the queen retreat? Goes back to b6, eyeing the b2 square along with the bishop here. And Vishy could very well go h4. He could go g4. Many good moves in this position that he has. And well, for Garry, maybe the idea is rook d8, knight d4, trade off pieces, keep his pieces in the center. And it is around even right now. The time is running. For Vishy, it's 95. Not a good move by Anand here, because rook a d8. I wonder what Vishy is thinking here. He goes queen e4. Maybe he wants Garry to take on e5. He's forcing it, but the e5 pawn would be weak. Look at this, knight e5, f e5, and I think Vishy is hoping that the f7 pawn is weak, the f6 square is weak. But black has a lot of counterplay, rook d4, rook d8. So there's also another idea. You can first push f5 and then take on e5. Then you don't even have the weakness on f7, and that's exactly what Garry does. f5, excellent move there by Garry Kasparov. And Vishy Anand is definitely a bit nervous here. He comes back queen e2. And Anand has 30 seconds lead on the clock. And now Garry can take on e5. But to take with the knight or the bishop, both moves are great. Well, if you take with the bishop, it might be that the king gets a bit weak. He takes with the knight. Now the bishop is a bit passive, but it's not that passive because it can pop out from h6 and put pressure on d2. I love Garry's next move, rook d4. He plays it with such a flourish. He's now stopping the pawn from coming to d4. He's trying to double down the d file, put pressure on d2, bg7, bishop h6 is his idea. And he's also stopped Anand's g4 plans. Vishy goes rook f4, offering a trade of rooks. And Garry can take on f4, but better bring the rook into the game. Rook fd8 played. And I keep on reiterating this fact of bishop g7, bishop h6, putting pressure here. He takes on d4. And now queen takes d4 is very strong, because it keeps an eye on the e5 pawn as well. Yes, he takes queen d4. And Anand goes rook e1. He defends the pawn on e5. And notice that Garry does not have any tactics right now. Bishop e5, queen e5. So c6 played by him. He's looking for b5, b4. That's the plan, to push the pawn down the board. And what is Anand going to do next? Maybe one of the plans is queen e3 here. To trade the queens. Yes, he does it. He plays queen to e3. It's a good move. And Garry can trade the queens now. But he can also just ignore it. If you take, I take with the rook. He goes bg7, a good move. Threatening to take, and then bishop h6. Anand at 1 minute 50 seconds. Garry at 1 minute 36 seconds. And now he takes on d4. Rook takes on d4. And now if you play knight e2, the problem is you have rook e4 pinning here and you lose the e5 pawn. So that's not a good idea, which is the reason why he takes the e4 square into control with d3. And maybe a very good move now is king f7. There's also rook d7 to just come out of this knight e2 attack followed by d4. So let's say if I go rook d7, now no knight e2 because I take the pawn on e5. That's a subtle move there. Will Garry find this move? Rook d7. No, he goes g5. And his point is that after knight e2, he wants to play maybe rook a4, attacking the a2 pawn, and then pick up the e5 pawn. That's maybe what he wants to do. So Vishy calmly plays a3, and now he's threatening knight e2 and d4. So Garry must go back with his rook. Rook d7, a very good defensive and a prophylactic move. And then he can come up with his king. He can play h5, h4. He has unlimited play, but he goes king f7, and Vishy instantly plays knight e2. This is the move that Vishy wanted. This is the move that he wanted in this position. d4 now coming up. Garry has lost all his edge. Look at him there. He's so unhappy. Rook goes back to d7, d4. Anand has 30 extra seconds on the clock. He plays c3, and all of a sudden, White's position has freed up. The king can move upwards, pawn takes pawn. And we are off. Until now, what you saw was the highlight of the game from yesterday, guys. But this is live now. And there we see first move c4, c6. He moves his pawn to d4, d5. People were like, oh, I thought that they were seeing it live, but no, that was game number 3, guys. The first decisive game. Pawn takes pawn for Garry. It makes sense to play simple chess because he is leading the match by 3 points. And bishop d3 played. He brings his bishop out. And now, what does Vishy do here? Vishy needs to score a win. A win will actually get him really close to Garry because it's 2 points for the win now from here. And all those who are watching the game in the live broadcast, like that was a break, and maybe I should put out that we are on a break. This is game number 3, something like that. So I'll do that from next time onwards. But for now, this is live. This is live. The excitement was so much, says people. Bishop c7 played by Vishy. Here, let me just flip the board and let me make this here. The timers are here, so all good. We have Kalpak Tole says, hello Sagar, how are you? Can you give a small gist of this tournament? By the way, 46 months, that's almost closing in on 4 years. Kalpak bhai, thank you so much for all your support. It's amazing. Yes, the thing is, this tournament is called Clutch Chess Legends. They play 2 games of Rapid each day, 2 games of Blitz, and it happens for 3 days. But the point scoring system keeps on changing every day. It's 1 point for a win on day 1, 2 points for a win on day 2, and 3 points for a win on day 3. So that's how it keeps getting, the stakes keep rising as we go along. Right now, Garry Kasparov won 1 game yesterday and 3 draws, so he was on 2.5. Today he won 1 game and 1 draw, so he is on 5.5. Vishy has a 3-point deficit. So knight e7, the game has begun right now, and he puts his knight on e7, knight d2. Somehow you want to, yeah, he attacks the bishop. The bishop needs to drop back, and if rook d7, you can long castle. Bishop d6 is also a possible move to just simply trade the bishops there. And we have a lot of. Oh, he goes and makes an error. It was the most natural move for me. I don't know why. Oh, I get it. I get it. Garry now can just short castle. He would get such a positive version of exchange Slav. Oh my god. Look at this bishop being so beautiful. This bishop completely blocked by its own pawns. So let's say, for example, short castle here. Nicely, the king, you go bd7, you want to go long castle. But now suddenly h4. And before you can even think about, oh, you can't short castle, you can only long castle because your rook is up. Oh my goodness, Vishy is in big trouble here. Kalpak Tole has sent 50 Chessbase India gift memberships. That's insane, Kalpak. That's insane. Thank you so much. 50 of you are going to get memberships on Chessbase India. All of these people, the money that we receive goes to young talents for their laptop fund. This year we were able to support 9 of them thanks to your support. So thank you so much, Kalpak Bhai. We have close to how many people following this live? We are 3,100. It's right now 1 a.m. in India. Let's go, guys. Vishy is in trouble. Will Garry short castle? I think he needs to do that. Or else Vishy is okay. Because the thing is, Vishy's rook moved. I think the main problem is not that his king is unsafe. If the rook was here, he would have also short castle, but his rook moved. So now he can only long castle. That's the problem. That's the problem, guys. Yeah, look at Garry using both his hands to short castle. An excellent move by him. And guys, Vishy Anand in big trouble here. The bishop is much superior to the black bishop. Vishy goes long castles. Wow. But I think white has a very strong move now. h4, h5. Yes, he finds it. Garry feeling it. He has this thing that right now he's in his element. f6 played. And Vishy is in trouble. Maybe h5 to push the knight away. He goes queen h2. The queen is well placed. The knight comes back to e7. And let's see if if Vishy's superior defensive skills, which he's so famed for, can help him here, because Garry's moves are easy. a3 with the idea of b4. Just keep pushing. I mean, white's position. He goes e4. Wow, Garry finding the move e4 here. He's trying to get something rolling in the center. Oh my goodness, you can't even take it. If you take it, you simply lose the game because this is pinned here. So that's the reason why e4, king a8, e5 played, rook d7, knight to b3, and Garry is playing fast. Oh, this is blunder. He resigns. Vishy resigns. Vishy resigns. Garry wins another game. Man, in 18 moves. In 18 moves, it's all over. Wow. Man, Vishy saw that knight c5 was coming to attack his rook and the pawn. So he tried to move away, but absolutely forgot that the rook is hanging here. E takes f6 attacks the knight and the rook. What a game. No, this is insane. Vishy now down 5 points in the match. But I must tell you guys, it's not just this move that Garry played or Vishy blundered and it was the end. It was also the pressure that Garry put on Vishy was insane. So much pressure. So much pressure. And for now, the scorecard is really in Vishy, in Garry's favor. He gets another 2 points, which means that Vishy remains on 2.5 while Garry moves to 7.5 points. So even if Vishy wins this, which is very important for him to win, there will be a difference of 3 points in the end of the day. Let's just go through the game once to tell you, like, really incredible play by Garry. Like, this was Slough and it was the exchange Slough. And sometimes, you know, the openings don't matter in chess 960 or Fischer Random chess, but sometimes you reach the position of that opening. Like here you can see that we did reach a very, very normal position, and I think a very, very, I wouldn't call it a bad move, but a bad decision by Vishy was bishop d6, because it's not only about trading these bishops, it's about moving your rook away so that you cannot castle anymore. Instead, e5 would have been much better, striking in the center. Once you play bd6, takes, rook d6, short castle, excellent move by Garry. Long castle, Vishy had to play it, h4, and it looked like Vishy was trying to kind of defend himself there. e5 pushed, rook d7, knight b3, and it was possible to hang on here, but it was not so simple. Like the move that would have been really good is bishop h5. Looks completely illogical because knight c5 attacks here and here, but turns out that it's actually black who's better after bishop takes f3. And if you take knight d7, I take back with the rook, gf3, and now simply knight takes d4, and black is better. So this was the move that Vishy had to find, and then knight fd2 to move the knight away, and the position still continues. I mean, white is better, but it's a fighting position. But instead he went rook c7, and insanely huge blunder, and e takes f6, attacks the knight and pawn. You can call it a double attack, you can also call it a discovered attack, both in the same theme. And that's how the game ended. And so guys, right now the scorecard is the following that we have. Let me just pull it up for all of you to see. We have 7.5 for Garry Kasparov, 2.5 for Vishy Anand. Z says Vishy is nervous, Vishy blunders in time trouble. Kasparov is doing better in both departments. Correct. He's playing really well. I think the next game should start in like 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes from now. Shouldn't take more time. But I think in general, Garry is playing better and better chess. Like, it might be very difficult to stop him now because his play is improving. It's not just the fact that he is lucky or that way, but his play is getting better. That's the problem for Anand now. Yeah, real clutcher there. Garry had dominated the world of chess for 3 decades. That's true. That's about right. What happened to Vishy according to you? I think Vishy is a bit nervous, in my opinion. That's how one can feel it. But guys, remember, clutch chess is all about such scenarios. If things are not going well for you on day 1 and day 2, day 3 has thrice the number of points. So like 3 points for a win there. So even if Vishy can manage to pull this one back, he would have only a 3-point deficit going into the last day. And then 12 points are at stake on the last day. So then he wins one game and he's already equalized the score. Principe Mishkin says, I don't know who this Garry guy is, but he has a bright future in chess. Yeah, nice one. Z says, don't give us false hope. This is over. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that there is hope here. And I think it would require a lot of mental strength from Vishy Anand to make a comeback. It would be very tough. I don't disagree to that. Seeing Garry, it's not just like Garry for someone else. Like if suppose today Prag plays Garry, he would uh, he would be like, okay, Gary's great. I have read about him, but he hasn't had personal experiences with him, right? While Vishy has had these experiences all throughout his career, where Garry kind of dominated the world of chess. It's like Fabiano versus Magnus in some ways, or you can say Hikaru Magnus. In a way, Hikaru would look at Magnus in a different way than, let's say, someone of the younger generation. And so that's the reason why I also feel that there's a lot of psychology at play. There's a lot of things here where, you know, it might not be so clear to someone who's just looking at them for the first time. They might think, oh, it's nothing big, but I do get it that what is happening here might be very difficult for Anand. I'm just putting up the scorecard here for all of this in this scene as well. But I personally think that there's a lot to learn from such moments of comeback. All the tennis fans out there must have seen games where a player is down 2 sets and then they come back. It's not uh, unseen that such a thing happens. So maybe we can hope for something like that to even happen here. And also this format is very fresh. So we never know what will happen here. Manvir says, how did I get membership? Well, it's because of Kalpak, who gifted 50 memberships. Yes, Himang says, guys, those who are feeling down, go watch Australian Open finals, Nadal versus Medvedev. Sharat says this will be a rout. Well, let's see, guys. Wait for the final game of the day. One more Blitz game. They should be coming in. Why is your stream about 3 minutes delay? Really? There's a 3-minute delay. I didn't know that. Pretty sure that it happens on time. I think, guys, the next round should begin. I mean, they might have in their schedule 9 minutes later, because that's like the round time. Like it would be 3 p.m. here, but it could also start a bit sooner. I don't know. Sagar, did you ever play against Garry? No, I never got a chance to play in a simul as well with him. Maybe this is one of the first times that I'm seeing him in person after 2015 at the London Chess Classic, where he was a guest, and Amruta and I were just starting off our Chess Base India journey at that point, 2015. And Garry was there. Okay, in the COVID, we did many streams with him. In fact, he even did Grandmaster Chess with Samay, Biswa, Vaibhav, Anirban. And then he also sent us his books. Very nice, very nice. I've always found one thing about Garry to be really amazing is that he feels like chess has given him a lot. And he's always kind of been true to chess. Like, he always mentions this, and I had asked him, like, when he gave me this book of his with a personal note in it, I asked him, like, how do you find even time to write personal notes to people? He's giving talks here. He's also has very direct opinions on the politics that are going on in Russia and the world and so on. He said, like, chess has given me so much. It's my duty to actually um, support chess, or just do the right thing for the world of chess. And that's a very rare opinion, I must say. Most of the world champions think the other way, that they are adding a lot to chess. But Garry is of the other opinion, that the sport has given him so much, which is very, very beautiful and refreshing. Z says the way Kasparov is confident, even going low on time, shows he has practiced this format a lot. That's an interesting point. I do agree that the way he played the previous game, not the this one, but the second game where he was really low on time but kept finding good moves, and yeah, that showed like he's in good touch. I don't know whom he worked with. Generally, he likes to
Even Fabi has a lot of influence.
in Fabi has an influence on Gary.
Yeah, because he is his second.
Yeah, but I think Fabi was never chosen by Gary like before. Someone told here yesterday that Vishy saw Anand Kasparov saw Vishy with Lake Wong Liam, and he said, "Oh, that's a big advantage he has. He has a second." And then someone said, "But Fabi is also there." So he said, "Okay, I would like to work with." So it was like a spontaneous thing. They didn't work before. I think Peter Swidler generally works with Gary, so he could be someone who's working with him. But then again, Gary has access to like all the top players out there, and he could be working with just about anyone. Roshan says, "Don't you think Vishy resigned too soon?" Well, what do you do here? I mean, your rook is hanging and your knight is hanging. You can move your rook away here, but then you lose a knight. And I mean, such positions, Gary would win like even without thinking. Just play queen d6, rook c1. It's just very easy. So I think he made the right call by resigning. Is there a rematch? Yeah, I mean, last few days have been a bit tough for Indian chess fans, especially with the USA India match ending 5-0. I'm one of the reasons for it, for sure. I was one of the players. And also this one right now where Vishy is trailing 5 points. But as I was saying, like, if there's someone who can bring hope at any point of time, it's Vishy Anand. He can always do that. Uh, Tomorrow is the last day, by the way, here. Tomorrow is the last day, one more game and 4 games tomorrow. But today, I think Aditya and I will spend a lot of time trying to cover the side things here, which are the club. There's also a very nice restaurant right opposite the venue called Kingside Diner. So we'll go there. Actually, when you enter St. Louis Airport, you instantly see that hotel or the restaurant, and you are like, "Wow!" There are pictures of the chess club there, and it's beautiful. So, and there's some park which is very famous. And by the way, there we have Garry Kasparov entering in, uh, and the game is about to begin, guys. So let's get rocking. Let's root now for Vishy to make a strong comeback. I hope he does it. It's not going to be easy for him, but let's go, Vishy. And the players are ready. The moves are flowing in. Yes, there we have the right set of clocks. He plays the same opening again, Vishy, which is kind of funny because this was not the best move in the position. And I'm curious if Kasparov did study this position because this was played in the in the second rapid game. E3. And Gary right now taking his time once again. This approach which is so interesting that he's able to have the confidence to put so much time in the opening. By the way, a bad move by Gary, giving Vishy a good position. Bishop b5 played here, trying to put pressure. I mean, the move that comes to my mind here is knight g3. He goes knight e5. Oh, knight e5 attacking here. Instantly queen g8 played. And now there is c4. Wow. Okay. c4, pawn takes. What's the idea? There's some check business here on f5. There's also g4, g5 that you can think of. He goes knight to g3. Simple move, e6. And now pawn to a4 played by Vishy. Bishop goes back to a6. And Vishy has 10 extra seconds on the clock. And if Garry wins this, he would then have a 7-point lead, which is huge. And f4, a good move by Vishy, just bolstering his knight in the center. He's got a good opening position, Anand. If he wants to play for a win here, this is a great one. You know, get the bishop out, perhaps. Pawn to c3, opening up this bishop. Quickly getting the queen in. Don't play it to f1. The bishop is looking here. Knight d7, trying to challenge the knight on e5. I don't know. Can we go b4, b5? Yes. Oh, b4 on the board. c6, very important. He must play c6. He does play it. And suddenly, black is doing quite okay now. Well, the c4 square has been weakened. The e4 square has been weakened. c3, Vishy is playing this risky chess. And Garry has this amazing idea, by the way, guys, which is knight e8. Pushing the knight away, rerouting his knight to d6 and eventually to c4. So if he finds knight e8, I might, and also knight b6, by the way, is also beautiful. But these moves just show that Garry is in great form. If he finds it. 3 minutes 20 seconds for Garry Kasparov. 3 minutes 56 seconds for Vishy Anand. Guys, all those watching this from all across the world, do like the stream, do tune in, do check out the St. Louis Chess Club's official broadcast that we have pinned in the comment. Also check out their official website, which is in the description. So much happening here. It's thanks to them that we are able to follow such a match live and enjoy this. You know, they put together these two players coming here. The prize money, oh, 98. Garry Kasparov finds it. What a move. What a move by Garry Kasparov. Threatening f6, knight d6. Incredible. Incredible play. Loving it. And Vishy Anand now thinking what to do. BD2 played, and it's time for Vishy not to be nervous here and to figure a way out. Like, let's say, I think he'll go f6. f6, knight d7, rook d7, knight d6. Oh my god, Garry finds the best move. f5. What a move, by god. My goodness, guys, I need to actually get my bearings in place. Like, what is this move even? f5. And he's just going to take here. And then maybe he'll first... Beautiful move, by the way. Limiting this. So much understanding. So much. Love it. And brings his knight into d6. And Vishy is in big trouble here. Rook b1 played. Vishy saying, if you move your knight away, I'm going to trap your bishop on a6. That's his plan. Well, let's see what Garry does. Because the knight is currently protecting this square with the bishop. He goes bishop c4. And Vishy immediately plays bishop b3. Knight takes c4 was perhaps better. But now bishop takes b3. Rook takes b3. Man, this is looking bad. Takes. takes, and there is a very strong move, by the way. He takes on e5, which is a very practical decision by Garry. F takes e5 and knight jumping into c4. Brilliant. Putting pressure here on d2, e3. Queen f1 played. And okay, Anand has a lot of space, but look at this knight. It's so well positioned. Bishop c7. Also, queen coming out and short castle could happen. Queen e8 could happen. And I don't know. Let's see. The only thing that is in Anand's favor right now is the time. He has 40 extra seconds. But Garry goes b5. Another good move by him. Do you take on b5? Do you push a5? If you push a5, you put another pawn on the dark square. Your bishop isn't happy. He plays a5. He closes down. I think some luck is needed for Vishy to win this. If he gets some luck flowing, king b7, he can make a small comeback in this match. Oh, short castle. Enjoy that kind of the way they make the moves. I'm happy that Vishy's king is a bit safe, but Garry quickly moves his rook there, and I think he's ready to start hurling down his kingside pawns. Knight to h5 played by Vishy. He's trying to sort of say, if you push your pawn, you have to be afraid of my knight settling in. So the knight is well positioned on h5. bd8 by Garry Kasparov, taking into control the f6 square here. Knight jumps into f4, putting pressure here, but isn't there g5 coming in? Well, Garry is patient. He goes bishop e7. Rook comes up to f2. Now g5 pushes forward, pawn to g5, knight d3, queen comes up to g6, and rook b1. Well, it's all kind of boxed in, and I think for Vishy, the big thing here is not to worry about the position too much. Just play on the clock. Just make sure you don't lose on time. Make sure that Garry is pushed to the limit there, h4. And I think Vishy is doing just that. He's like, I'm now no longer concerned about my position. I know it's bad. I can't do much about it. I'll just make moves. I'll make moves, king h1. You can see Vishy there. That's a change in his strategy. But somehow, I don't know. Garry looks like he's making progress here. Rook g8. Just stay alert for some tactics now. With Garry down to 1 minute on the clock. And he's generally ambitious, so he won't be repeating now. a6, he stops all threats there, and Vishy plays king. Oh, Vishy's okay for a draw maybe. Not so sure. Garry is also perhaps, I think for Garry, if this ends in a draw, it would be a good end to the day with 2 wins and 2 draws. But then again, Garry could also think, why not win another game here? I could win potentially another game. And now, if rook f2, maybe the queens could get traded. He does play it. Takes the queen. Rook takes e2. 44 seconds for Garry. But difficult to make a mistake in such simple positions. Is goes g4, but gives up the f4 square. But guys, remember, knight f4, I have bishop g5. I can chop off the knight, and then my knight is better than your bishop. The position is now evened out. I think a draw would be a fair result here. Yeah, they are okay with a draw, and draw there. Vishy taking a pragmatic choice there to draw the game. But the scorecard is now 8.5, 3.5 in Garry's favor. And I think Garry is happy with this day. Incredible day. And Vishy is smiling. But I'm pretty sure Vishy is already thinking in his mind that the last day is something where I must do something different. 12 points are at stake, guys. Remember, the last day is much different from first and second day. This is what clutch chess is all about. This is what the organizers had in mind when they put up clutch chess. That even if one player is not playing so well, which is in this case Vishy Anand, there is a chance for him to make a comeback on the last day. So right now the score is 3.5, 8.5 in the favor of Garry Kasparov. And I hope that you enjoyed today's broadcast. I think Vishy is very pragmatic in that sense. He's like, let's not try to make the day even worse today. It's not my day. I'll come back tomorrow. Yeah, 2 wins and 6 points, and he gets ahead of Garry. So it's like, it's a matter of 2 wins. It's tough, I must say. I'm not saying like, oh, Vishy will do it or something. Gary's playing really well. But a new day, a good sleep, good dinner, and who knows what will happen tomorrow. Guys, I hope you had a good time. The point system is basically, it keeps increasing every day. It's draw for, yesterday was 1 point, half and 0. Like 1 for win, half for draw, 0. Today was 2 for win, 1 for draw, 0 for a loss. Tomorrow is 3 for win, 1.5 for draw, and 0 for a loss. So that's how the point system is. And Zing Chess, thank you so much for contributing on Help Chess. We have had our first believer of this tournament. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, see you all tomorrow, guys. Hope you enjoyed this live broadcast. This is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.